good.
We up? We live? I think we're good. I think we're up and running. First of all, Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays. However you're spending today. Whatever you're celebrating, whether you're celebrating, hopefully it's a good day. Hopefully it's a good Saturday. But we got football today. That being said, John's going to join us a little while later. Not exactly sure how much time he needs. But he'll join us eventually. So I'm taking you for as long as as long he needs. I'm going solo for a little bit, but plenty ready to answer a couple of questions because we got fantasy playoffs today. We got some stuff to figure out. But with that being said, let's see who we got in here. Merry Christmas, Dirtbag, Kyle Noe, Crumply Heads. Happy holidays, everybody. Mr. Heinen, Richie, good to see everybody. And like I said, John will be joining us eventually, so we can bounce some ideas off of each other. But I got you for now. Let's get things started. Dirtbag, Lazard or Renfro? So I think Marquez Valdes-Scantling has definitely been ruled out. Is that I'm pretty sure that's the case. I know he was placed on the COVID list. I don't think he's getting activated for this game. So Lazard would be probably the upside play that I prefer today. Still on as far as Marquez Valdes-Scantling moved, still on the COVID list. I haven't seen anything about him being activated. I would say I would probably prefer Lazard. Renfro is like a safer floor play if you feel like you can do that. But I would prefer, like, whether or not you need the upside, I feel like Lazard feels like a better play at home. No Marquez Valdes-Scantling. Like, floor should be just fine. And he's got touchdown upside at home with Rodgers. So I give the slight edge to Lazard. Renfro's a decent floor play if you feel like you can get away with it. Kyle Noe, RB2, half PPR. Michael Carter, Justin Jackson, Clyde, Chase Edmonds, Sony. That's tough. I think, maybe going back to the well is going to bite me a little bit here, but I think I prefer Clyde. Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill, last I checked, are both still on the COVID list. So I'm not crazy about those guys, or I'm not crazy about, like, they should be fine if they play, but if they don't, Clyde's going to see a ton of work. So I would say Clyde is one of the two. Justin Jackson has a really strong matchup. If you think he's going to get the bulk of the touches, he should. It could be a committee. We've seen Joshua Kelly mix in. I don't know that Larry Roundtree gets any involvement, but we've seen Joshua Kelly mix in. It's a phenomenal matchup, and Eckler is looking like he's not going to play. So I don't hate the idea of Jackson. Sony feels a little safer, though, for me. I think he seems to be taking control of the 1A role in this backfield. I'm just going to adjust my camera briefly, guys, for a second. But with that being said, I think Sony looks like he's the one who's taking control of this Rams backfield. Darrell Henderson's not going away, but Sony has looked really good. Sony has looked really good the past couple of weeks. So I think I would go Clyde. I think I would go Clyde and Sony. Jackson's in a good matchup, but feels a little less reliable. That's just me. And then pick two wide receivers between Gage, Waddle, Moore. Is that DJ Moore? Gallup and Tyler Johnson. Gage and Waddle. Gage is a phenomenal matchup against the Lions. John and I have both not been on Gage for the past few weeks. Some of you guys have been. We were wrong about that one. Gage is on the wide receiver 2 roadmap for these next couple of weeks in the playoffs. And I would go Waddle. He had been a wide receiver 1 prior to going on the COVID list last week. So I would go Gage and Waddle. Crumbly Heads, formerly known as, what's going on? And yes, it is playoff time. And congrats to everybody who's in here asking questions because they made the playoffs and they got playoffs to figure out. Congrats on making it. You love to see it. Gibson, Clyde, Pollard, Carter, choose two. Man, Gibson makes this tough. I know Antonio Gibson delivered last week. He came through, but he picked up the toe injury during the game. He's on 5 days rest, right? He's got less rest this week, shorter week because they played on Tuesday. And it's a bad matchup against Dallas. I'm a little concerned about Gibson. That being said, he's a tier break type of player over a guy like Tony Pollard, as well as Tony Pollard has played this year. We know Gibson's going to be the workhorse for Washington. So I go slight edge to Clyde and Gibson. The advantage to Gibson and Pollard is they play in the same game. They play at the same time. Are they the Sunday night game? Is that the Sunday night game? I'm drawing a blank if it is. Regardless, they both play in the same game, so that can kind of help figure your decision out a little bit. They do. It's Sunday night. If there are any good vibes about Gibson going into the game, Crumply Heads, like if the vibes are going up, like, oh, he's feeling better. The toe injury's not as, it's feeling okay. He's expected to get the full workload. Like, expect to see Gibson get 20, 25 touches. If those are the vibes or the reports going into the game, then Gibson. But if the vibes, like right now, they're shaky. Again, toe injury, 5 days rest, going on the road, playing a good defense who just shut him down a couple of weeks ago. If those are the vibes going into the game, I might pivot to Pollard over Gibson. So tentatively Clyde and Gibson, potentially Pollard and Gibson. Let's see how the vibes are going into the game as it pertains to Gibson's injury and the fact that, Washington's playing on 5 days rest instead of a full week off. Best defenses this week, Miami's got to be right up there. Miami's got to be right at the top. They're playing well right now. New Orleans just put Taysom Hill and Trevor Siemian on the COVID list. They're probably going to start a rookie. They're going to start rookie Ian Book, a 4th-round pick at quarterback on Monday night. It is a road game for the Dolphins, so obviously that's always like slightly less enticing, but they are on a run right now. They are on a roll. There's not too many impressive offenses that they've beaten. The Dolphins have in this stretch, but they've won the games and their defenses have performed while doing it. So you have to give them their flowers. I think Miami's right at the top this week of defensive options. That would be my top streaming suggestion. But then you have like your typicals. Tampa Bay is right up there this week against a bad Carolina offense that's going nowhere. I think Buffalo is a defense you can trust, even though it's a road game against the Patriots. I think both defenses can be trusted in that game. In general, New Orleans was looking like a good defense to stream this week before the quarterbacks were put on the COVID list. So New Orleans has a good matchup at home in the Dome against Tua, who's, again, the Dolphins are playing well, but it's still a favorable situation for New Orleans. Now that they're playing a rookie quarterback, they're a little less enticing to me, just in case they're playing with a couple more short fields if Book makes mistakes. So New Orleans was looking like a trendy play this week. Now they might be a defense I'd pivot off of. So just to play a little contrarian there. Hopefully that answered the question, Crumply Heads. As far as dynasty people we should be watching for moving forward, I'm happy to talk this, but one, it's kind of a loaded question, and two, we have some. I do want to make sure we prioritize start sits today because we've got playoff games to win. But absolutely, I can come back to this. We can still talk dynasty. We'll be around all off season to talk dynasty. Don't worry, we're not going anywhere. Plenty of content, plenty more live streams on the roadmap as far as talking dynasty coming into the off season or going into the off season. But I gotta running backs, wide receivers. That's a loaded question that I would happy to talk about it, happy to wrap my head around it. But I want to focus on start sits for now, but we will talk dynasty. Don't worry. Kahunoi already started Foreman. Yeah, I was a little worried about Foreman going into the Thursday game, and we weren't able to fit in a stream this week prior to the start of week 16. I I was a little concerned about Foreman this week, just coming off a big workload and an ankle injury and then having to play on a short week. Remember, when it comes to running backs, this is kind of in a vacuum. When they're playing on a Thursday, obviously, like, studs have to be started no matter what. But, like, if you've got a running back playing on Thursday who just came off a big workload, got 20 touches, got 25 touches, which Foreman got on Sunday, and he picked up an ankle injury later in the game, be wary of those guys going into Thursday night. But again, yeah, he got you 7 or 8 points, so it's a floor play. You try to work around it. So we'll see what happens this weekend. Mr. Heinen, PPR, start 1 running back and 1 flex. Swift, Justin Jackson, Green, Penny, Devontae Smith, Jamal Williams, Craig Reynolds. Yeah, it's important to figure out the kickoff times. I mean, if Swift is in, I think you have to play Swift. I know he's questionable coming into the game. Is that a 1:00 start? The Lions game? I think it is. Yeah, it is. It's a 1:00 start. So you'll know right away. I think if Swift is active, you have to play Swift. I know he hasn't played for a few weeks, but he's been awesome this year. He's been an electric player. He's been an RB1. And in full PPR, he's even more valuable. I think Swift has to be in. He has to be one of your guys. Of this group, I think I lean Justin Jackson because Eckler is trending toward not playing. It doesn't look like Eckler's going to play. And it's a phenomenal matchup. It's a phenomenal matchup. Houston's a top 2 matchup for running backs for fantasy purposes these past few weeks. I think I would lean Jackson just based on the matchup. I would not, if Swift can't go, I'm inclined to say just plug in Jamal Williams, like just fire the next man up because it's a great matchup. And somebody in that backfield is going to get work. So I would go Jackson. I would go Jackson, and I would go either Swift or Williams, whoever's active. Ideally, it's Swift, but if Swift can't go, I would play Williams. And yeah, Dirtbag Debo did. Debo's been a wide receiver 1 this year with like running back upside. One of the best picks in fantasy this year. So let's keep the momentum going. Let's keep it going today. If anybody's got situations today to figure out, obviously let us, or I'll see if we can prioritize those because of time. But we got 2 big games going on today. It's great. It's a great Christmas day, guys. You love to see it. Richie, Merry Christmas to you. Michael Carter, Javonte, Justin Jackson. You only need 1. I'm going Javonte. 1. I am if you've done me the pleasure of listening to me at all this year, I have been pounding the table for Javonte Williams all year long. I am a big believer in him, maybe to a fault, but I think he's the best option here. He's the clearest answer as far as like I know he's going to get work. Yes, it might be in a timeshare, but I don't know how much. Like Jackson should get the most touches, but if Eckler's out, like do they mix in Joshua Kelly a little bit more than we expect? Does Larry Roundtree get in there and play a little bit more than we expect? As far as I know, none of those guys are on the COVID list, but you get my point. Javonte is not a backup. He might be a 1B, but he is a part of what they want to do on offense. It's a phenomenal matchup. The Raiders are giving up good production to running backs. I would play Javonte over Carter, over Jackson. And 1 PPR flex between Lazard, Van Jefferson, and Amon-Ra, or any of the 2 running backs that you don't start. Okay, so in this situation, I might be a little more inclined to play Jackson. Like I might play Javonte and Jackson because yes, his workload could be considered something of a question. But it's a phenomenal matchup against Houston. We still expect Jackson to lead the backfield in touches or at least carries. And he can catch the ball a little bit. So I would say Javonte and Jackson. Van Jefferson is enticing in a strong matchup. but he's his team's wide receiver 3, whereas Jackson has a chance to be his team's running back 1. So that's a little more enticing. St. Brown has been great recently, but he's not going to have Goff. And Dirtbag, to your point, your question right immediately after this, it sounds like Jared Goff is unlikely to play. At this point, he told the Detroit Free Press earlier in the week, Jared Goff did, that he was experiencing mild symptoms. To me, that's enough to assume he's not going to play. Like, if he was asymptomatic, that would be one thing, but the fact that he's feeling something, Goff's not going to play. So St. Brown's going to be down his quarterback, so I'm a little less intrigued by St. Brown this week. And I like Lazard, I do, with no MVS, but if I can play what I think is going to be a team's RB1 in a great matchup, that's enough of a tier. Like, that's a tiebreaker for me in this conversation. So Javonte and Jackson. And Archum, Merry Christmas. Chris M, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays. However you're spending the day, however you're celebrating, hope it's a good day. Hope everybody's having a good day. If you joined us a little late, I'm going solo for a little bit for now. John will be joining us a short while later. I don't know when specifically, but we will be, if we need to go until kickoff, then we'll go until kickoff. And John will definitely be back at some point before the game kicks off. But anyway, happy holidays, everybody, one more time. Surf, what's going on? Need some help. Alberto, Hooper, DeGuara, Troutman, Swaim, Brevin Jordan, or Gentry. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that is a little concerning. These guys are bottom of the barrel options. I mean, Albert O has the best matchup of all of these guys. The Raiders give up top 3 or 4 production to tight ends. Does Drew Lock get under center? Like, does that do anything to boost this Broncos offense at all? I don't know. I'm not sure about that. But Albert O has the best matchup by the numbers. Hooper probably has one of the worst matchups by the numbers, but game script should be in his favor. But Njoku is playing. DeGuara is a dart throw. Troutman's a dart throw. I would say maybe, I might take a chance on Brevin Jordan, to be honest. He also has a good matchup. The Chargers are, last I checked, the Chargers are still top 10 in the NFL in fantasy points allowed to tight ends. They're top 5 according to Fantasy Pros. They're giving up 10. They're giving up 10 PPR points per game to tight ends. The Chargers are, and I think I'm going to say Brevin Jordan. Because Brandon Cooks is likely to miss because of COVID. So they're going to be looking for somebody to step up. And I know Brevin Jordan has had a couple weeks, one recently too, like within the past 2 weeks or so. I know he caught a touchdown. It was 2 weeks ago. So last week he didn't do anything. Did he play? Did he play last week? Maybe he didn't play. Yeah, it looks like he was out. But the week before, 4 for 26 and a touchdown. I think I would go Brevin Jordan. It's a great matchup by the numbers, and Houston won't have Brandon Cooks. So somebody's got to step up. Brevin Jordan, Surf. That's my guy. I'll say Brevin Jordan of those options. Good matchup by the numbers, and Houston needs somebody because there's no Brandon Cooks. So Tober, what's going on? Huntley's out. This would be news to me. I knew he was questionable. Oh, now he's this says doubtful. Oh, he's on the COVID list. Wow. Oh my gosh. So they're down to Josh Johnson. Ugh. Okay. Carr, Ryan, Tua, Baker. The Raiders are playing the Broncos. That's not a good matchup by the numbers. Ryan is playing the Lions. There's nothing scary about that. Tua's playing the Saints. That's not a good matchup by the numbers. But if Ian Book plays for the Saints, which is looking likely, if the Dolphins defense capitalizes on some mistakes, it could set Tua up for some short fields, maybe. And Baker, on the road in Green Bay, I know game script should be in his favor. I don't trust it. I think I go Matt Ryan by default. So Tober, he's got far and away the best matchup. If you believe in the Dolphins, if you believe in the Dolphins defense maybe creating some short fields for the offense, then maybe Tua. but I think I go Ryan here. Just the matchup is as good as it could be. The Falcons aren't playing for anything at this point, but maybe that takes the pressure off. Maybe they play loose and opens things up. Carr, still down Waller, having to play the Broncos, having to play a division game. I'm less enthused about that. I'll say Matt Ryan. That's annoying that Huntley is out. Oh yeah, and Anthony Garcia. Thanks for this. I saw it late. Huntley got COVID. Yeah, not good for the Ravens. So downgrade all Ravens, including Mark Andrews, by the way. That hurts. But yeah, I would say Ryan and Wentz as well. I mean, this is a bad matchup by the numbers too. Arizona's not a good matchup by the numbers. He won't have Quentin Nelson. I mean, he's playing for something. Wentz is playing for something. I always like one of the intangibles I like, guys. I like our guys whose team is playing for something. There's no science back behind that. There's no like formula that I have that proves it, that it works or doesn't work. But I like guys that are playing for something. So that definitely that would give me a slight oomph to Wentz. But he's been good, not great, and it's not a good matchup. Plus, they're coming off an emotional win from the Patriots. Wonder if there's a little bit of a letdown from the Colts this week. Wondering, not predicting. Just throwing it out there. I think I would play Ryan. Just best matchup by the numbers. Sotober. And Surf, you're welcome. Merry Christmas. Happy to do this live cast with everybody. It's an important day. We got playoffs. We got playoff fantasy football. So we got some stuff to figure out. We got business to deal with. This is not just any Christmas. Archum, would we rather start Claypool or Landry in PPR? I think I might lean Landry. Claypool's in a bad matchup. The Chiefs are playing well on defense right now. Claypool busted last week. On the road, tough matchup. I just the vibes don't feel very good about Pittsburgh right now. Not that they're that much better about the Browns, but in full PPR, Landry hasn't done much this year. And somebody posted in the chat, appreciate the assist, and Sleeper just caught it as well. Austin Eckler announced he is out for Sunday against the Texans. Tested positive again today. So yeah, Justin Jackson is definitely viable. There are still plenty of guys who I like over Justin Jackson, but he's absolutely worth a flyer if you did pick him up. Claypool versus Landry. Claypool is a ceiling play, Artjum. His floor is 0 or his floor is low. But if you feel like you need upside, Artjum, if you're looking at your opponent and you're looking at your situation and you're thinking, I need to give a shot to a guy who might be able to catch a bomb for a score, that would be Claypool, not Landry. If you feel like you can play it safe, like if you have enough strong plays that you feel confident about in your lineup, and you feel like you can maybe use a wide receiver in full PPR to play it safe, then Landry. So hopefully that helps. That would be something do I need upside? Okay, maybe Claypool. Can I play it safe? Maybe Landry. So Tober, Ronald Jones over Mixon or Jacobs? Yeah, a lot of experts, a lot of people like Ronald Jones this week. Leonard Fournette is out. Chris Godwin is on IR. Mike Evans is out. Somebody needs to pick up the slack, and not that Ronald Jones is a receiver, but somebody needs to get some work in. Somebody in this Bucs offense is going to need to do some work other than Antonio Brown and Rob Gronkowski. So Ronald Jones is the favorite to see most of the backfield touches, if not all of them. The team signed Le'Veon Bell. They have Keyshawn Vaughn for what that's worth. Jones should see volume tomorrow against a Carolina team that is out of it, is reeling. They are a mess on offense. The defense has been good this year, but when it rains, it pours. So Ronald Jones is in a good spot tomorrow, where we expect the Bucs to bounce back and win this game and beat the Panthers, beat a division opponent, get a must win, get a win in a must win. And so Ronald Jones should see a good amount of work tomorrow. I don't know why. I can't totally get on board. So the fact, like, so Mixon for sure he's in. Mixon has to be in. Jacobs is an interesting kind of tier break for me, where he's a little more proven. He's clearly his team's top option. It's not a good matchup by the numbers, but they're at home, right? The Raiders are tomorrow. I believe the Raiders are at home against the Broncos. I lean Jacobs. You're probably going to see most people rank Ronald Jones ahead of Josh Jacobs this week. Like if you check, our running back rankings for the week. But like even in a bad matchup last week on the road against Cleveland, 52 rushing yards. He caught 3 passes for 42. Kenyon Drake is out. Is Jalen Richard back? I know Jalen Richard has been on the COVID list. Did he get activated? Just give me a second. He did. Okay. I think I played Jacobs at home. So Tober, I might get burned on the Ronald Jones take. I know a lot of people like him this week in what looks like a smash spot. Bruce Arians has proven in the past it doesn't take much for him to put Ronald Jones in the doghouse. And I know he had Leonard Fournette, to fall back on it previously. And I know Ronald Jones has had good games as recently as last year. I'm not sure I buy it just because Leonard Fournette is out. If you believe in Jones, then go Jones, but I would play Mixon and Jacobs. I would. Would love to hear other people's thoughts about Ronald Jones this week, by the way. If anybody has any, feel free to drop it in the chat. Chris dropped Mac Jones this morning to pick up Huntley. Okay. Other options are Cam, Trevor Lawrence, Nick Foles. I assume that's Nick Foles, Davis Mills, Wilson, Drew Luck. Yeah. Who would I go with? It's hard to trust Cam in a bad matchup. It's hard to trust Trevor Lawrence even without Urban Meyer. I don't want to play Nick Foles. Who do the Jets play? Oh, they play Jacksonville. Wilson? It might be Wilson. I mean, at least he's at home against a bad team, right? I think I would play, Chris, Zach Wilson at home against the Jags. Cam would be the other choice, but the Panthers are cooked. They're done, and they're playing the Bucs, who are coming off a loss. I don't feel good about it. If you want to play the guy with more rushing upside, which is the quarterback cheat code, then Cam is your guy. But I think I would advocate for Zach Wilson. Wilson at home, playing against a bad defense in Jacksonville. I think that's what I would go with. Anthony, what defense do you stream? Tampa, New Orleans, or Cincinnati? I'm Tampa. I know Cincinnati is enticing because they're not going to play, or because Baltimore's down to their third quarterback. I would play Tampa. They're the best defense of this group. I know their secondary is decimated, but their front seven is awesome. Oh, shoot. I'm just reminding Jason Pierre-Paul is doubtful for this game. That makes it a little tougher. Tampa is a safe play. Anthony, Tampa is a safer play. If you feel like you're looking for a defense for some upside, then I understand Cincinnati. New Orleans was trendy to me, but they're off the table now because of the situation at quarterback. The rookie quarterback makes me nervous. If he's making mistakes, if he's taking sacks or turns the ball over and creates short fields for Tua and the Dolphins offense, that's only going to hurt the Saints defense. So Cincinnati would be an upside play with no Huntley. Tampa is a safer play, although I think they might be without Jason Pierre-Paul tomorrow. So that's a big loss. But they're still good enough, Tampa is, in a matchup that's not scary. Archum, would I start Freeman or Justin Jackson in PPR? Jackson. Freeman lost work last week to Latavius Murray, and now Baltimore's down to their third string quarterback. So Jackson. I would go Jackson. Freeman might see extra work. We've seen running backs recently. Do well with backup third string quarterbacks because they get more volume. But Latavius Murray worked in a little bit more than you'd like to see as a Freeman owner last week. So Jackson in a phenomenal matchup. Yep. Raul, what's going on? Flex Allen Lazard, St. Brown, or Michael Carter? And Merry Christmas to you. we'll see if John joins us here shortly. I know he's got a prior Christmas arrangement, so have to honor that, of course. Between Lazard, St. Brown, or Michael Carter, Carter's really enticing because of the matchup. What happened? What did he do last week? Was it like, did he play? He played a little bit. 8 for 18, and he caught 1 ball for 2 yards. This is a much better matchup by the numbers at home playing Jacksonville. Like, nothing scary about that. So in standard or half PPR, Raul, I'm not sure what your scoring is. I don't know if you put it in the chat. I don't see it, but if it's like standard or half PPR, then maybe go Carter. But if it's full PPR and maybe you could use some upside, I would say Lazard. Like full PPR, maybe need an upside play, a guy who can make a big play, Lazard. But if you think you can, even if it's full PPR, if you think you can play it safe, and then in standard and half PPR, I would go Carter. At home against the Jags, should be all right. Austin, what's going on? Like I said, John intends to join us. He will be here eventually. So I'm just holding down the fort. Holding down the fort while I can. Oh, and I just saw the soup. Appreciate it, Austin. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas to you. Yeah, let us know. Hit us with the question. Appreciate the super very much. But yeah, drop it in here and I'll get to it. But while you're doing that, let me sneak one more question in here. Yeah, and I know it's not. I know John's coming. He's coming. He'll be joining us shortly. But if Kelsey is out, do you play Henry or Higbee? I think you go Hunter Henry. Coming off a 2 touchdown game, right? I mean, he's been the Patriots tight end 1 this year over Jonnu. He's been pretty strong catching touchdowns this year. Higbee has faded recently, and coming off the COVID list, I'm less enthused about Higbee. I would play Hunter Henry if Kelsey has to miss. I would play Hunter Henry at home. It's a tough matchup going against the Bills, but the Patriots are at home. I would go there. I would go with the guy who has been a little bit more consistent recently, on an offense where he's much more likely to be featured than Higbee is. So yeah, I would go Hunter Henry. Andrew, how's it going? Merry Christmas. Woo, made the semifinals. Okay, congratulations. Happy to hear we were able to help with that. That's awesome. Brought in Parker, left Moore on the bench. There you go. Happy to help, man. Congratulations. Let's get another win. What do you say? Let's get another win and go to the finals. That's the plan. Let's get everybody to the finals in their leagues. What do y'all say? Happy to hear about it, Andrew. Happy we were able to help, and congratulations. That's awesome. Sad J Cutler, what's going on? Half PPR. Amon-Ra with Boyle, or Lazard. You'll have Tyreek in this spot if active, and St. Brown gives me till 1. Yup. Lazard does feel better for me than St. Brown currently, because to the point you made earlier, St. Brown doesn't have his quarterback. He doesn't have Goff. And Lazard will not. I think Marquez Valdez-Scantling is not expected to get cleared before the game. He's still on the COVID list. So yes, if MVS is still on the COVID list, I do feel better about Lazard. And then you still have Amon-Ra in your back pocket in the event Tyreek can't get cleared. But I do feel I would play Lazard over St. Brown. Yes, excuse me. Yeah, I would play Lazard over St. Brown. And Austin, I'm just checking for your question. Whenever you get to it, drop it right in. Greg, Merry Christmas, man. All the best to you as well. 1 PPR. Need 1 guy. Parker, Mooney, Burkhead, Lazard. Devontae Parker is interesting. I think the Dolphins offense gets a boost with Ian Book starting for the Saints. If he's making rookie mistakes, a 4th round rookie getting his first NFL game action is playing the way that maybe we wouldn't be surprised to see, like sacks and turnovers against a good defense, a defense playing well. That sets Parker up well potentially. Short fields for the Dolphins, favorable spots. I think Parker would be my slight favorite. Lazard is more of an upside play. Viable, definitely viable. Floor should be fine with no Marquez Valdez-Scantling. But game script might not be in his favor if you think the Packers are going to win this game at home. But Lazard still has the chance to make a big play. I would say Parker is a safe play. And a guy I would probably lean. Probably the guy I would lean. But Lazard is perfectly viable if you feel like you might need some upside, Greg. I wouldn't play Mooney. Not down to Nick Foles. No offense to Nick Foles, Super Bowl winning quarterback, but I don't want to play Mooney as a result. And Burkhead is in a great matchup against the Chargers, but I don't know. Down Brandon Cooks. This offense might struggle. I'm not super enthused about a Houston running back. So I would say I would slight edge to Parker, but I have no problem pivoting to Lazard if you want to play an Aaron Rodgers wide receiver today for a potential big play. And Tyreek got cleared. Chris, all right, that's one. Yeah, Eckler's out. Tyreek Hill has cleared COVID protocols. All right, we just need Travis Kelce. That's. I'm happy to see that Tyreek got cleared. Happy to see it, but we need now we need Travis Kelce. And this is on Yahoo. There's still a shot, quote unquote. This is from Adam Schefter. There's still a shot Travis Kelce clears the league's COVID protocols. The fact that he hasn't been activated with Tyreek Hill, it's maybe it's on the wrong side of 50-50. Might be on the wrong side of 50-50 that Kelce plays. So plan accordingly if you have Kelce, but there's still a chance. So we're holding out hope. I am anyway. But Tyreek Hill cleared. Fire him up. Travis Kelce still on the list. Maybe gets cleared, but we're running out of time. Jonathan, what's going on? Pick one: A.J. Dillon, Michael Carter, Damian Harris, Justin Jackson. If he plays, you can flex one of them as well for Higgins or Renfro. The scoring would help. Oh, it's PPR. Got it. PPR would make me a little bit more inclined to want to play the wide receivers. Justin Jackson has the best matchup. I like A.J. Dillon today. I do. I like A.J. Dillon today at home. The Packers they play better at home in Lambeau. It's just a different beast. Packers are a different animal in Lambeau. I think they win this game. I think Dillon is involved. It's a full-blown timeshare with him and Aaron Jones. I think they're both viable. But I definitely like Dillon today in Lambeau. Damian Harris is questionable for his game against Buffalo. I know he broke a big run in the last game against the Bills, but coming into the game questionable with the hamstring, and it's still a tough matchup by the numbers. I feel less good about him. I don't, like I said earlier, I don't mind Michael Carter. He's in a good spot. He's in a spot to hit this week at home against Jacksonville. He got his feet wet last week after missing. He was on IR, missed 3 games to injury. So last week was like a get back, get his legs under him type of game. Now he gets to play Jacksonville at home. It's a good matchup. Jackson has the best matchup, Jonathan. I personally like Dillon today. I think Dillon does well at home against the Browns. I see a path where he gets double-digit half or full PPR points. Carter would probably be third for me, just because the Jets are a tier below, are not as good as Justin Jackson's on the Chargers, Dillon's on the Packers. Those are both much better teams. I think I would definitely play Jackson because of the matchup against Houston. And then Dillon is in consideration. Dillon's in consideration for me over Renfro. That's a gut call. Renfro's been a wide receiver one. He dudded last week. So if you think that was a fluke, I understand wanting to fire Renfro up again in full PPR. But for what it's worth, I do like Dillon today. I like Packers running backs at home in Lambeau, and Dillon has delivered at home this year multiple times. So I like his chances today. And Greg Gage is also an option of these guys. Okay. Actually, I might bump Gage ahead of all of them. I mean, he's on the wide receiver 2 roadmap officially, and it's a great matchup against the Lions. Yeah, might play Gage. Might prefer Gage over those options. I mean, especially in full PPR, he has come on strong recently. Took the L on that one a few weeks ago. Didn't think Gage would remain fantasy relevant. He has, and the matchup's really good. So Gage. Malachi, what's going on? Dylan or Freeman? I would go Dylan. I would play Dylan at home instead of Freeman on the road with a third string quarterback. Against a good division opponent in the Bengals. Freeman might see more work. Might get more work because they're down to Josh Johnson. But Freeman saw his snap share shrink last week with Latavius, at the hands of Latavius Murray. I would play Dylan in an offense I feel more confident about in the Packers at home. Dylan. Brian, what's going on? Pick 2 PPR. Gage, Jackson, Sanders, or one of the Rams running backs. I think you got to go back to the well with Miles Sanders. I think because the Eagles are killing it right now running the football. They're killing it. He's had back-to-back 100-yard games. The Giants are not a scary matchup. I know the Eagles are on short rest this week. They played on Tuesday. The Giants played on Sunday, so the Giants had a couple extra days. But the game is at home for the Eagles. It's the emotion. That's a revenge game for the Eagles. They lost to the Giants earlier in the year, and they're running the ball better than as a team collectively, better than anybody. Jonathan Taylor obviously has been a monster by himself, but the Eagles as a team are running the ball maybe better than anybody right now, collectively. So I think Miles Sanders has to be in there, Ryan. And then it comes down to, do you trust a guy who's been on the wide receiver 2 roadmap in Russell Gage for the past few weeks in a great matchup? Or do you trust the spot start running back who Justin Jackson should see RB1 work? Should see RB1 volume for his team in a phenomenal matchup. Just could Joshua Kelly mix in a little bit more than we expect? Maybe. Could Larry Roundtree mix in a little bit more than we expect? Maybe. It's still a great spot. It's still a smash spot for Justin Jackson. But he is a backup. He's a backup by trade. Does that guy automatically get starters work when there are other options that we have seen mix in even with a healthy Eckler? So Sanders, I think for sure. And then it would be between Gage and Jackson. I want to see this Rams backfield play out one more time before I declare. So Sony Michel has looked like the better back, but Henderson was in his first game last week coming off the COVID list. I still think it's Sony's backfield, but I want to make sure one more time by seeing Darrell Henderson 2 weeks removed from being off the COVID list. So I'm okay with leaving those guys on the bench and let's see how that plays out instead of potentially playing Michel, but then he randomly for no reason takes a backseat to Henderson. So Sanders and then either Jackson or Gage. Depends on if you prefer the guy who could be a top 15 running back this week, but maybe a little bit more downside, or a guy who has been a safe wide receiver too, in Gage, and go from there. Okay, I remember Austin. Austin was kind enough to provide a super, and now I see his question, so I'm going to get to that. Just going to jump down here. Gave Allen and Brady as quarterbacks, you have Allen and Brady as quarterbacks more so because opponents have their utility players. Which quarterback should I play this week? Could go Hurts, Burrow, Stafford. So can you only play one of these guys, or is it oh, that's right. This is a guaranteed league. Can you only play one of these guys? I think you can only play one. I think if you can only play one, Oh, man. Jalen Hurts has had the most quarterback 1 weeks this year. Jalen Hurts has the most QB1 weeks this year. Joe Burrow's in a great spot against the Baltimore defense that looks like a shell of itself. Like as far as what we have grown accustomed to seeing, as far as Baltimore Ravens defenses year in and year out, this one is not that. They have been wrecked by injuries. They're not as good as they usually are each year. This is a good spot. It's a good matchup for Burrow. And then Allen obviously is a normal top 5 stud. Brady's has been a normal top 5 stud, but there's more downside, obviously, with no Mike Evans and no Chris Godwin and no Leonard Fournette. Given all of your options, I'm inclined to plant my flag. I'm inclined to plant my flag on Jalen Hurts. It's not a great matchup by the numbers, but he has been the quarterback who has delivered the most QB1 performances this year. Each week. I think I'd go Hurts. Stafford's in a great spot, but he is on the road. Stafford's in a great spot. It's a great matchup against the Vikings, but they're on somewhat short. They're of a shorter week. The Vikings played on Monday, but the Rams played on Tuesday, and now they got to go on the road. I think I lean Hurts. Hurts has the 2021 pedigree, most QB1 weeks. Burrow's got probably the best matchup at home against a defense that has been decimated. Stafford has a good matchup as well, but short week on the road could be a tough spot. And Brady has a little bit more downside because lack of weapons. Allen has a little bit more downside because of the matchup, and he's down multiple weapons. He won't have Gabe Davis or Cole Beasley. I think I say Hurts, Austin. I think I'm talking myself into Hurts. If you prefer a quarterback with a better matchup, that would be Burrow at home, and then maybe Stafford. I would rank slightly below Burrow. But Hurts has the rushing upside. Hurts has the rushing upside that Allen does, but Allen has the worst matchup throwing the ball. Allen's the better passer of the ball over Jalen Hurts. Don't get me wrong. But I think I go Hurts. The matchup's better. Allen is a better passer of the football, but the matchup is better for Hurts, and the rushing upside is similar. And Hurts is at home. I think I say Hurts. I hope that helps. But I'm going to stick with the guy who has the most QB1 weeks this year in Jalen Hurts. Hopefully that helps. Thanks again for the super. Very much appreciated. And if you got anything else, Austin, let me know. Happy to help. Let's get back up to Sad J Cutler. Half PPR. We got KJ Osborne with no Thielen. Is Thielen definitely out? Is that confirmed? He's questionable. Questionable against the Rams. Limited in practice. He looks like he might return, so I'm a little less inclined to say Osborne, St. Brown, or any of the Kansas City wide receivers. So Tyreek got cleared, so I don't think you want to play a Kansas City wide receiver. I think by default I'm going to go St. Brown here, Sad J. He doesn't have Goff, so that definitely hurts. But given your options here, I think I would play St. Brown because at the very least, he himself has been a wide receiver too recently. St. Brown. Yep, and Eckler. Okay, yeah, and Eckler announced he's out tomorrow, so Justin Jackson's a fine play. Fire him up if you have him. Surf, hopefully that helps. You're welcome. Ryan, Josh Allen or Brady? Brady's down Godwin and Evans. Allen is down Beasley and Davis and is on the road in a much tougher matchup against a division opponent. Both of them are more like low-end QB1s this week. I'll give the slight edge to Allen because of the rushing upside and no disrespect to Cole Beasley and Gabe Davis, but Brady's losses are greater. The weapons that Brady is missing are greater. Do I expect Brady to bounce back in a big way after an embarrassing home loss where he got shut out? Yeah, I do. Brady could throw 3 touchdowns tomorrow. Allen's got the rushing upside. Still has his main guy in Stephon Diggs. Still has a top 5 tight end this year, or top 6, 7, however technical you want to get, in Dawson Knox. And still runs. Slight edge to Allen because of the rushing upside. Mr. Heinen, I think I got this one already. Swift has to be in. Swift has to be in. And start one flex. Swift has to be in. If it's not Swift, then Jamal Williams. And Ryan, I just saw you put in, you have Knox and Diggs as well. Allen, let's go full stack. Swift has to be in, Mr. Heinen, and then I would play Jamal Williams if he's not. Andrew McGrady, Connor, or Madison PPR. I think it's got to be Madison. Connor's missed he's going to play tonight. Connor's going to play tonight, but he missed practice all this week. Madison is a locked and loaded RB1 anytime Dalvin Cook is out. That has been proven for the past 4 or 5 times that has played out now. Nothing scary about the matchup. The Rams, by the numbers, can be beaten on the ground, and the Vikings want to run the ball. Madison, Connor, on top of Connor being injured or being hobbled coming into this game, not having practice, it's a tough matchup. The Colts are good at stopping the run. I know he's at home, but Madison is too. Give me Madison. Thunder? There's an X in there, but I'm going to say Thunder. If I'm saying that wrong, let me know. AB or Waddle? I'm going AB. I think Antonio Brown is as good an option on the slate this week. I think he's got wide receiver 1 upside. Waddle has been a wide receiver 1 the past month or 6 weeks before he went on the COVID list. But we're talking about Antonio Brown, man. No Mike Evans, no Chris Godwin. Off the injury report 2 days before the game. I think Brady's going to lock in on him again and again and again and again. I think AB's got as good of upside as anybody this weekend. I'm Antonio Brown. At this point, guys, the only guys I'm not ranking over Antonio Brown are your typicals. Cooper Kupp, Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill just got cleared, so him. The likes of Diggs, the likes of you get the idea. The elite wide receivers this year. Antonio Brown's up there this week, no doubt. Purple Marcus, what's going on? One of your leagues haven't lost a game yet. Should you start Ian Book? What are your other options? I hope not. I hope not. What are your other options? I don't see them. Well, let us know. Let us know. Let me know what your other options are. I don't want to play Ian Book. Elver, what's going on? Javonte Williams, Madison, Ronald Jones, and Justin Jackson. Got to pick 2. Javonte and Madison. Javonte is in a timeshare. Justin Jackson looks like you might be thinking Justin Jackson over Javonte. Javonte's been he's just a better player, man. He's just better. I know he's maybe the 1B any given week, but it's a good matchup already. Javonte has been a rock solid. He had top 15 option this year for the year. If he's not, he's close. I'm riding Javonte Williams in a great matchup, and I'm going Madison. Proven RB1 when Dalvin Cook doesn't play. Proven RB1. Nothing scary about the matchup. The Rams can be beaten on the ground. Madison has been an RB1 when Dalvin Cook doesn't play. Justin Jackson has a good matchup, has a great matchup. And Ronald Jones looks like he's going to get all the work. It's 4 pretty good options. You're picking 2 of pretty, out of 4 pretty good options. Javonte and Madison are my 2 picks. Javonte might split time, but he's a stud. Madison should get all the work and is a proven RB1 when Dalvin Cook doesn't play. And is Barkley droppable in 10 team? I mean, do you need the roster spot? He's he's close. He's not a slam dunk drop, but he's close. It hasn't been pretty, and it's not going to get any better with the Giants down to second and third string options at quarterback. And the team is done. They're not playing for anything at this point. So I don't feel good about Saquon. I'm not going to drop him just to drop him, but wild. He's in the conversation at the very least. And Chris, yep, thanks for the assist. Tyreek got cleared. That's awesome. Now we just need Kelsey. And Austin, I think you did send. Yeah, you did send another question. Appreciate the other stuff. Appreciate the other Superman. Very kind of you. And John will be joining shortly, everybody. So you won't have to deal with just me. Do I like Rojo's matchup? Yeah. What are generally speaking, top 3 to 4 defenses and kickers this week? Okay. So to start with Rojo, I like the matchup enough. I like the situation enough. Leonard Fournette's gone. He's not going to play. Jones should get all the work. My only concern is, and I did say this earlier, Bruce Arians has shown it doesn't take that long for him to put Rojo in the doghouse. Yes, Ronald Jones he had a few good games last year. Did several strong games last year. Several RB1 weeks last year. But they still pivoted away from him. And he has barely seen that. He has not seen that much work this year, even when healthy, when healthy. And when Fournette has been healthy. Now's his time. Now's his opportunity. But the team signed Le'Veon Bell. Not that not that I'm worried about Bell taking carries, but we're taking too many carries. But they also still have Keyshawn Vaughn. Ronald Jones is clearly their best option. I'm not trying to argue that Le'Veon Bell or Keyshawn Vaughn should be supplanting Ronald Jones. They shouldn't. But Bruce Arians has proven he is not afraid to pull the rug out from under Ronald Jones quickly. So he is tentatively a top 20 option at RB this weekend. Ronald Jones should be a top 20 option, maybe better. Maybe should be better than that. Maybe it should be top 15 just given the situation. Tampa should win the game. Game script should be in his favor. They should be running in the second half. I don't know how he's more on the low end RB2 map for me than he is closer to the RB1 map for me. If I get burned by that, so be it. I know there are a lot of experts that like Ronald Jones this weekend. I don't have him as high as some other people do. And then as far as defenses and kickers this week, the Miami defense probably has to be number one. Miami defense probably has to be number one. I know they're on the road and they're playing New Orleans in the Dome, but New Orleans is going to be starting a 4th-round rookie. They're going to be starting Ian Book this weekend, who's getting his first game action, and the Dolphins are hot. Dolphins are hot on defense. They're playing well right now. They're racking up sacks and turnovers. Dolphins are the top option this week. The LA Chargers are a good option this week. I believe Joey Bosa was on the COVID list but got cleared. I'm pretty sure. So that's a huge boost to the Chargers. They're playing Houston, who is probably going to not have Brandon Cooks, playing Davis Mills. That's a great matchup. That's a great situation for the Chargers. They are a good play this week. The Bengals are a good play this week with the Ravens down to their 3rd-string quarterback. The Eagles are a good play this week with the Giants playing. Who are they? Are they going back to Glennon or are they playing Jake Fromm? Doesn't matter. The Eagles are a good play this week. Your steady regulars like Tampa, Tampa's gonna be missing Jason Pierre-Paul, so that's a hit. That's definitely a loss for them. They're still decent. There should be a good safe play. Their front 7 is really strong. I think the Bills are fine to play this week. They're on the road in New England, so that's a tough spot, but they're a good defense, and they lost the last matchup between these two teams. Buffalo's going to be fired up to play. I would say the emotional edge goes to Buffalo in that game. So I think the Bills are a fine play. So those are, I think I named 6 or 7 defenses, but those are some teams I like. Kickers I like. Prater's probably not available, but he feels like a really safe option tonight at home. Colts defense is good enough to make the Cardinals. Cardinals should be able to move the ball at home, but maybe they stall out 1 or 2 times for some field goals. I think Prater's a good play tonight at home. Matt Gay is at the top of every list. Nick Folk is at the top of every list. They gotta be up there. I like Jake Elliott, the Eagles kicker, at home against the Giants. I think the Eagles win this game. I think they beat the Giants. I think they're winning in the second half. I think they're kicking field goals and tacking on points. And I like Evan McPherson. Sorry, I lost my camera, it looks like, for briefly. I'm back. I've been touting Evan McPherson this year. I like him at home against a banged-up Ravens team, against a beaten-up Ravens team. Like McPherson as well. I think the Bengals play well at home this week with the Ravens playing a third-string quarterback. So those are some options. Hopefully that helps. Damn, man. Another super. Really appreciate it. Very, too kind. You could go CeeDee Lamb or Zeke over Rojo. Both. I would play both over Rojo. Yup. I would play both over Rojo. Call me a hater. I'm not as crazy. I'm not as crazy about Rojo as some of the other pundits this week. Some of the other experts this week. He's viable. There's definitely tier breaks where Ronald Jones is gonna. It's like, okay, yeah, play Ronald Jones over this guy. Zeke is not one of them, and CeeDee Lamb is not one of them. I know the Cowboys are struggling recently on offense, but you got to play those two guys at home in prime time. That's how I feel. Thanks so much, Austin. And everybody else, appreciate your patience. If I haven't gotten to you yet, I am going to get to all of your questions starting right now. Carl, thanks for waiting, first of all. Appreciate your patience. Landry, Parker, AJ Green, pick 2. I think Parker should be one of them. I like his situation in New Orleans. The Dolphins should, they're on the road, so game script should be they should, stay aggressive, throwing the ball, and I think their defense can create short fields for them. With the Saints starting a rookie quarterback, a 4th-round rookie. I expect to make mistakes, for better or worse. Not an indictment against him. Just it's a rookie 4th-rounder seeing his first game action against a defense that's playing well. I think it sets the offense up well as well. So I like Devontae Parker. AJ Green, by the numbers, has a pretty good matchup. Landry game script favors him as well, but he's coming off the COVID list, and it's against the Packers, and he's been okay this year, not great. I think I would lean AJ Green at home. I mean, the Colts secondary is beatable. The Colts defense is good. Their secondary is beatable. At home, I think the Cardinals they fixed themselves a little bit after their disaster in Detroit last week. Give me AJ Green tonight, and then Parker on Monday night. And Chris, I would love to see where you're saying that Kelsey is expected to get cleared. I haven't seen anything personally. All I've seen is that Adam Schefter said that there's still a shot, but I would love to see Kelsey get cleared. Jonathan, you said you still need an RB2. Was that? I mean, can we play both Jackson and Dillon? And can you play both Jackson and Dillon would be my question. And if you're RB, and yes, fire up Javonte, like no questions asked. Javonte is a top 10 option for me week in and week out. Tim, what's going on? Do you start Clyde or Justin Jackson since Tyreek is playing? I kind of like Clyde this week in a phenomenal matchup against Pittsburgh at home. I think Clyde feels like I keep going back to the well when I shouldn't play. Whereas it feels like Justin Jackson does make more sense. I don't know why, but Clyde's usage is interesting. His production is like all over the place. At home, in a great matchup against Pittsburgh, yes, Tyreek got cleared, but it took him all week to do it. Kelsey still hasn't been cleared yet. There's a chance, but it hasn't happened yet. I think I lean Clyde over Justin Jackson, Tim. I think I lean Clyde. Jackson's in a great matchup, but Clyde is too. Pittsburgh's given up tons of points, tons of production to running backs for fantasy purposes. I think I go Clyde. I'm much more inclined to play the guy that you drafted high, who is a little bit more of a proven player, than a guy who is by trade a backup. He's good. Jackson's good. He's a backup by trade. The matchup is good. I don't know if other guys mix in a little bit there, a little bit more than we expect. I'm playing Clyde. It's close, but I'm playing Clyde. Anth John, what's going on? Jared Patterson or Sony Michelle? Sony. I know Gibson is coming into this game banged up, the toe injury, 5 days rest. It's not a good matchup. Just because Patterson might mix in a little bit more, that's Sony Michelle's a tier break for me. Sony Michelle, that's a tier break for me. I would play Sony. I would play Sony. And then Austin. So you can only play one of those two guys. Is it? I'm sorry if you put this in here already. Is it PPR? I would say Lamb if it's PPR, Zeke if it's standard. Like play to the strength of the scoring. That's what I would do. Like both are good options, but play to the strength of your scoring. If it's PPR, I say Lamb. If it's half PPR, then I give the edge to Zeke. He still gets. I know Tony Pollard is back, but Zeke still gets the goal line work. And at home, always seems like a safe bet to get a score. Zeke does. But full PPR, I would go Lamb. Art Jump, Super Flex. Would it play Heineke in a terrible matchup or roll the dice on Ian Book, who showed in college he can run? I'm inclined to say Heineke. You're right. It's a terrible matchup. Washington is banged up. Heineke's coming off the COVID list. It doesn't feel good, but Ian Book is a 4th round rookie getting his first game action. I mean, yes, he could run. I feel like there's more downside. The Dolphins are playing well too. It's not like it's a great matchup by the numbers. I think I would suck it up and play Heineke. I don't feel great about it, but between him and Ian Book, like Heineke can run as well, and he might have to a little bit more if Gibson can't play. Heineke. And Greg, so yeah, Gage over Parker and Lazard. Goff is out. So between St. Brown, Lazard, and Parker. So, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you needed 2. Sorry, Greg. Between those guys, I would say Parker is a safe play and Lazard is more of like an upside play. I really like St. Brown, but with him, to your point, Goff being out, I'm a little more concerned about him. Parker is a safe play. I would say Lazard is a little bit more of an upside play. So hopefully that helps. John said he's going to be joining us, so whenever that happens. And Ryan, you said you have Knox and Diggs. Yeah, I say go Allen over Brady. Let's create a full stack. Jay, hey, what's going on? Standard, Ronald Jones, Zeke, Montgomery, Clyde, Sanders. Start 2. Montgomery and Sanders. The Eagles are playing really well. The Eagles are running the ball great right now. As I splash my smoothie all over my face. Sanders, the Eagles are playing great right now. They're running the ball great right now. And I like Montgomery. It's a phenomenal matchup against Seattle. They're down to Nick Foles, but Montgomery should be like a huge focal point of what they do on offense and a great matchup. The Seahawks give up lots of points to running backs. The Steelers do as well as it pertains to Clyde, but I think Montgomery is a little bit more proven of a player than Clyde is. I would go Montgomery and Sanders. I can't believe I'm sitting Zeke among those options, but these are some good choices. Sanders has a great matchup. Montgomery's got a great matchup. Clyde does as well, but there's a tier break there for me. As far as Montgomery's a more proven player, and Sanders is just hot right now. Back-to-back 100-yard games. Eagles are running the ball exceptionally well. That's tough, but I'll say Montgomery and Sanders. Mark, what's going on? Do you think we'll know if Kelsey is going to play? Yeah, I mean, we'll know. I just don't know when specifically. We might get that news today. We might get the news today. We might get it tomorrow. We'll know. We should know go before the early kickoffs, I would think. The later it goes, the worse we're probably going to feel. We'll see what happens. And I did just see the news alert. Cam Akers was activated and added to the added roster. That's incredible, by the way. The Cam Akers tore his Achilles in July. He tore his Achilles in July, and here we are at the end of December, and apparently he's ready to go. Pour one out for Cam Akers today. That's phenomenal. Like, good for him. Good for him, no matter what happens. Good for him. Tanya, what's going on? Half PPR, Clyde, Mike Williams, or Mixon. Normally this would be Mixon, but struggled multiple weeks. Yeah, I'm going back to the well, and I'm playing Mixon, Tanya, because he got you here. Nothing scary, but like the Ravens are coming in banged up. Their defense is not what it usually is. They're down to a third-string quarterback. Mixon's been an RB1 this year, and he's off the injury report. I would play Mixon. I would play Mixon. And Brevin Jordan, the Houston tight end, or Steals Jones. Brevin Jordan. Brandon Cooks is out. He's not going to play because he's on the COVID list. Texans need somebody to step up. Brevin Jordan didn't play last week due to injury, but the week before that, he had 4 for 26 and a touchdown, which is exactly what you're looking for from a guy like Brevin Jordan. Seals Jones, I don't know. The vibes are bad with Washington right now. Heineke's coming back, but it's a bad matchup. He hasn't exactly done a ton since Logan Thomas went down. I'll play Brevin Jordan. Houston needs somebody in the passing game to step up. And it's a good matchup by the numbers. It's a great matchup by the numbers. The Chargers give up lots of points to tight ends for fantasy purposes. Brevin Jordan. Let's see. Let me just make sure. Where am I? I think I'm caught up. Tim. What's up, Tim? Drop Seattle, Patriots, Miami, or Phillies defense. The Patriots have Jacksonville next week, so you want to keep them. I would drop Seattle. And I would start Miami. I would drop Seattle, and this week I would start Miami against Ian Book. Dolphins are playing really well. Ian Book's a 4th-round rookie, getting his first career game action in the NFL on a struggling Saints offense. I know he'll have Alvin Kamara for what that's worth, but this is not the Saints offenses of old. And it's a tough matchup. Miami's a good defense. I would play Miami. I think they've been opportunistic. They're creating sacks and turnovers recently. I think they got their chances to do that again on Monday night went up. I would play Miami this week. And as far as the kicker, I like them both. I think I might slightly prefer Jake Elliott. The Giants are a train wreck, like bigger than Baltimore is. I would probably play Jake Elliott. I think the Eagles are going to win the game. I think they're going to be winning the game in the second half, and I think they'll be tacking on points. And I think that bodes well. I think that bodes well for Jake Elliott. I think he's going to have a good day at home. I like Evan McPherson as well. He's got a big leg. All he does is hit 50-yard bombs, and is in a good spot tomorrow. Like I said, Baltimore's defense is not what we're used to these days. It's not as good as it usually is. And with them down to their 3rd-string quarterback, could be short fields for the Bengals offense. Both are good options. I think I give a slight edge to Elliott. Collectively, the Giants are a worse team than the Ravens. Fully healthy or in their current states. So I'll play Elliott. Let's see what we got. Start 3 receiver. Jonathan, start 3 receivers. 1 is for the flex. Higgins, Chase, Renfro, AJ Green, Parker. Play both Chase and Higgins. I mean, sure. I would definitely play Chase. I think you definitely got to play Chase. I think I would play Higgins as well. I think I would play both of those guys. There's a tier break there as far as talent, given the other options. I would play Chase and Higgins. And then it's kind of like it's up to what you think is it's personal preference. Like AJ Green at home, nothing. The Colts have a good run defense, but their pass defense is suspect, so he should be fine. Renfrow should be a relatively safe play. Like he dudded last week, but he should continue to get all the targets he can handle with Darren Waller still out. Renfrow's safe. AJ Green is safe. Maybe has a lower floor than Renfrow's, but a higher ceiling. And Parker's a safe play. I like the Dolphins this week. I think the Dolphins offense might be the beneficiary of some short fields. If Ian Book is making mistakes, like is making rookie mistakes. I think Higgins and Chase have to be in, Jonathan, and then it's kind of like, do you want a safe floor play? Renfrow. Do you want a guy with maybe a lower floor but has a higher, like could come through with a higher ceiling with a couple big plays? AJ Green. And Parker's also a safe play. Maybe a similar floor as Renfrow, or lower floor than Renfrow. Lower floor than Renfrow, higher ceiling than Renfrow, but maybe not a higher ceiling than AJ Green. If that makes sense. And then go from there. But I would play both of your Bengals. Chuck, man, appreciate that. Appreciate the super. Very kind of you. What we got? And Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays, however you're celebrating, or however you're spending your day. Need 3. Burrow, Chase, Lockett are locked in. Okay. Options are Gibson, Sanders, Jackson, Swift, Howard, and Penny. I think it's got to be Swift and Sanders. If Swift can't go, if Swift is out, I would pivot to Justin Jackson. I think Sanders has to be in. The Eagles are running the ball phenomenally these days. The Eagles are killing it running the ball these days. I think Miles Sanders is an obvious play at home against the Giants. The Giants give up lots of points to running backs for fantasy purposes, and Sanders has 100-yard games back-to-back weeks. Sanders is on a roll right now. The Eagles are on a roll running the ball. I would play Sanders. I would play Swift if he's in. If he's active, maybe there's a little downside. He's missed a bunch of time. How is he going to be his first game back? He's a PPR monster. He's a PPR monster. And if he's in, he's got to be in, especially with no TJ Hawkinson. Swift has got to be in. So Sanders and Swift. If Swift is out, I would pivot to Justin Jackson. The matchup is phenomenal. The reason I'm not saying Gibson, as much as I wish this wasn't my stance on Gibson this week, picked up the toe injury, right? Picked up the toe injury in the game against the Eagles. Short week, 5 days rest, right, for Gibson. And now it's a brutal matchup on the road against the Cowboys, a team that just shut him down a couple weeks ago. So the vibes for me for Gibson are not great this week. And that's why he is the first odd man out for me. He would be, to me, he's in if like Sanders, Jackson, and Swift are all randomly out tomorrow, which hopefully they're not. I would go Sanders and Swift, and if Swift can't go, then I would play Justin Jackson in a great matchup against Houston. Howard, not interesting option in deep leagues, but not on the radar given your other options. And I would say the same about Penny. But thank you for the super, and hopefully that helps. Johnny Jones, Chase, AB, Waddle, Terry, DK, 2 wide receivers, or do I use 3 instead of Mixon? No, keep Mixon in there. And I would play Chase, and I would play Antonio Brown. I would play Jamar Chase, who I think bounces back nicely at home against a Ravens secondary that is completely decimated. I think Chase gets back on track this week. And I'm playing AB. He's got like overall wide receiver 1 upside this week, as just from a volume perspective. By all accounts, he's okay. He's over the foot injury. He's off the injury report. I would play Chase and AB. Waddle is interesting, but I can't play Chase, or I can't play him over Chase or AB. Terry has struggled and DK has struggled. Chase, AB, Mixon. Tajikarp, what's going on? Start 2 in PPR. Lazard, Barrios without Crowder. Swift, Craig backfield might be split. will need the upside. So Swift has to be in if he plays. If he doesn't, I would go, I would play Lazard today. If you need some upside, I would play Lazard today. No MVS. Aaron Rodgers, wide receiver at home. Volume could be low, but the opportunity for a big play is there. I would play Lazard if you need upside. And then I would go Swift. If he can't play, then I would play Berrios, because I would only play Craig Reynolds if both DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams are out. If they're both out, then sure, play Reynolds. But if either one of them are in, I'm not playing Reynolds. I would prefer Berrios. At home, full PPR, good matchup. So Lazard and Swift. Lazard for sure. Swift for sure if he plays. If Swift can't go, Berrios. If Swift and Jamal Williams are out, then you could go to Reynolds. Hopefully that helps. Johnny Jones, Moreau, Uzoma, Njoku, Ingram, or Everett. I would say Uzoma. He's been a little up and down this year, but he has had some good weeks, including a big week against this Ravens team earlier in the season. It's a good matchup by the numbers. The Bengals are at home. Feels like a get-right spot for them. It's a division game, but the Ravens are coming in hobbled. They're down to their third-string quarterback. They're wrecked on defense. I like the Bengals offense this week. Give me Uzoma. Picked up Akers. Will we start him tomorrow? I can't do that. Like, I don't know that he's going to play or how much work he's going to see. This is a phenomenal story. This is awesome that Cam Akers over the summer tore his Achilles and is back and is apparently ready to go and help this team. That's amazing. Hats off to Cam Akers with his recovery. Like, we are seeing, it's awesome to see medical advancements where these injuries don't keep players out as long. It's awesome. But that being said, like, this is unprecedented. I can't fire up Akers tomorrow. If it's like Cam Akers active, gonna play, that's incredible. And that's awesome for Cam Akers. And I'm rooting for him to ball out. I gotta see it first. Like, I can't play him yet. I can't do it. I can't play him yet. First game back in this situation, I gotta see it first. But I hope he plays. It'd be one of the stories of the year. Be one of the stories of the year. Dirtbag, you said you would go with Baltimore's. I'm not sure if that means their defense or if that was helping somebody else out, but appreciate the assist if that was the case. Tajikarp, start Heineke or Tua. Cam or Nick Foles. Oof. So I would if you believe the narrative that the Dolphins might get some short fields against the Saints with Ian Book potentially making rookie mistakes back there, like Tua could be set up for some short fields. I don't love the matchup. I don't want to play Josh Johnson, a third-string quarterback. I don't want to do it. Heineke's in a bad matchup. Cam's in a bad matchup. Nick Foles is in an okay matchup by the numbers, but like, he's a third-string quarterback. I think I would play Tua. He is of these dudes, he's his team's QB1 at least, like from going into the season. I would play Tua. I think the Saints might shoot themselves in the foot a little bit, or more than once on Monday night, having to play a rookie quarterback, a fourth-round rookie for the first time. I would play Tua. At least he is his team's, like, that was his, he was the intended starter from week 1 for Miami. You can't say the same about these other guys. I would play Tua. Johnny, Kirk, Tua, or Josh Johnson? Kirk Cousins? Yeah, I mean, he's been a QB1 this year. Kirk. And the Rams are on. I know the Rams are a good defense, but it's a short week for them. They played on Tuesday. Now they got to go on the road. Good matchup for Kirk. Should be something of a shootout. Could be something of a shootout. And Cousins has been a QB1 this year. Kirk. John Guapo, Rojo, or Justin Jackson? I think I lean Justin Jackson. I know, like, a lot of experts. You're gonna see Ronald Jones high in the RB rankings this week from a lot of places, from a lot of sources, from a lot of people, from a lot of experts. I understand it. I understand the sentiment. I understand why you want to, why people want to rank Ronald Jones high. This is his time. He has been decent here and there in the past, and there's no Leonard Fournette. and the matchup is good. I can't buy all the way in. Justin Jackson should get just as many opportunities in a much better matchup. Jackson and Rojo should see a similar number of opportunities. Jackson's matchup is way better. Give me Jackson against Houston over Ronald Jones. If I'm wrong about Ronald Jones, so be it. I think I might be a bit on an island here. I know that a lot of people have him ranked high this week. Give me Justin Jackson. Let's see. And Eagles over the Bills defense. You can. That's a personal preference, honestly. I think both are viable. The Bills on the road, obviously a less enticing situation having to play the Patriots. But they're going to be fired up to play. They lost this last matchup against the Patriots. The Bills defense, I think, is in a spot where there are some intangibles in their favor, and I think they'll play well. But the Eagles are at home and they're not as good of a team. They're not as good of a unit. The Bills defense is on paper is better than the Eagles defense. The Eagles intangibles might favor them at home against the Giants, who are starting either Mike Glennon or Jake Fromm. It's not going to be pretty either way. I think the Eagles are an upside play. I think the Eagles are a good upside play at home. Game they should win. They should beat the Giants. So sure, slight edge to the Eagles, but the Bills are fine. If you feel like you can play it as safe as you possibly have to, there's not a problem with firing up the Bills defense. I don't hate them this week at all. I think they'll be just fine, but the Eagles have more upside. So, yeah. Showstopper, what's going on? I'm sorry, I lost your question. There it is. If Kelsey doesn't go, should you start Kmet or Cooks? Is that Jared Cook? Showstopper? Are you talking? Is that Jared Cook? Because Brandon Cooks is probably out tomorrow and not a tight end. I think Cook is fine to pivot to because no Eckler, right? So maybe some short intermediate work has to be redistributed in the passing game. Eckler catches so many balls. So Jared Cook should be a little bit more involved. Nothing scary about the matchup against Houston. Kmet, I like Kmet, and he got involved last week, but they're on the road. They're down to their third string quarterback. They still bring the Bears still bring Jimmy Graham in on the goal line. Kmet hasn't scored a touchdown yet this year, so it feels like he's a little bit more capped. Kmet might be a little safer. Cook is the bigger threat to actually catch a touchdown and should see a little bit more work without Eckler in the intermediate game. I would say Jared Cook, showstopper, if Kelsey can't go. Chuckman got that question. Hopefully that helps. I saw you standard scoring with bonus 100 yards. Yeah. So I say Sanders and Swift. They remain my choices. If Swift is healthy, and if Swift isn't healthy, I would play Justin Jackson over Antonio Gibson. I'm the vibes for Antonio Gibson. I don't feel great about with the toe injury and the short week. And yeah, Kano, he saw that. Appreciate the assist. Saw Cam Akers got activated. What a story. Johnny Jones, you could also play Brevin Jordan. Who are your options at tight end? Oh, Moreau, Uzoma, and Joga. I still, Uzoma's fine. I think I would slightly prefer Uzoma over the rookie, but Brevin Jordan is an all upside play he's absolutely fine as a pivot. No Brandon Cooks for Houston. Great matchup by the numbers for Brevin Jordan. The Chargers give up lots of points to tight ends. So if you prefer the better matchup, they're between Uzoma and Brevin Jordan. They're both good matchups by the numbers. The Ravens give up lots of points to tight ends as well. The Chargers give up more. And down Brandon Cooks. Brevin Jordan's a fine pivot. I think I would maybe still give a slight edge to Uzoma, but I do like Brevin Jordan this week. Chris, Rojo, Clyde, Miles Sanders, and Michael Carter need 2 in full PPR. I would say Clyde and Sanders. Again, I'm not super high. I'm not as high as others are on Ronald Jones this week. I'm just not. Bruce Arians has shown he'll put Ronald Jones in the doghouse. I know he doesn't have Leonard Fournette to fall back on to do that, but he feels like he's on less stable ground. Clyde and Miles Sanders feel much safer with plenty of upside between the two of them. Eagles are running the ball great. Chiefs still might not have Travis Kelce tomorrow, so Clyde might see a little extra work, and he might see a little extra work anyway. Tyreek and Kelce missed they had to be virtual all this week because they tested positive. So Clyde and Sanders are my options, Chris. Tim, running backs are Rojo, Clyde, Jackson, Patterson is in my wide receiver spot, and have Henderson. Need to start 3 running backs. Benching DK. You can be confident in that decision. I mean, DK at home against a bad defense or against a bad team in the Bears. Yeah, he might be fine, but there's a reason you're benching him. He's fallen out of favor as far as being reliable. DK has not been reliable. There's no reason to feel like just because he's at home in a good matchup that it's suddenly going to be fine. So yeah, you're fine benching him. Patterson needs to be in your wide receiver spot. I agree. You need to start 3 running backs. I would play Rojo over the likes of Darrell Henderson. I'm not sure Darrell Henderson's role in this offense is completely gone. I don't think Sony Michel has completely taken over as the main guy necessarily. Or Michel might be the 1A, but Henderson's volume came last week, first week off of the COVID list. He might have still been recovering. That being said, the expectation is he will be the 1B this week to Sony Michel. So I would play Ronald Jones, who should be the 1A in the Bucs backfield at the very least. I would play Ronald Jones over Darrell Henderson. Clyde and Jackson, if you can play all 3 of those guys, those should be your guys over Henderson. And I have no problem playing all these guys over DK Metcalf. There's no reason to have any confidence in him right now. So yeah, Patterson in your wide receiver spot, Ronald Jones, Clyde, Justin Jackson. If your options are start 3 out of 4 and your 4th option is Darrell Henderson, go with those first 3 guys. Johnny Jones, Hardman. I don't buy it. I'm not a believer in Mecole. Sorry, Mecole, but especially with Tyreek being back, Hardman's too much of a flash in the pan. Too hit or miss, way too inconsistent. I can't trust him. Aquas, what's going on? I have not seen the Madden documentary yet. It's on the to-do list. I'll check it out. Maybe tonight, or maybe after the games. I have not seen it yet, but I'm glad you're enjoying it. As far as your start-sit options, Pittman or Renfro, I think you got to go Pittman. Renfro's been rock solid, but Pittman has been a pretty good floor play recently and in his own right. Renfro is playing at his ceiling right now, and Pittman is playing at his floor. Now game script is going to be in his favor in this game, playing a much better offense in the Cardinals. No disrespect to the Patriots, but the Cardinals are definitely more electric even without DeAndre Hopkins. And just common sense and natural logic and expectations are he won't get ejected a second game in a row. So I'll play Pittman. He's playing at his floor already. The past few weeks, he still has ceiling play potential in him, especially in a game like this if the Colts are trailing. And then Dawson Knox, Cole Kmet, or Foster Moreau. Knox. I know the matchup is not as good, but he's a tier break above those guys. No Cole Beasley, no Emmanuel Sanders. It's a bad matchup, but he's going to be involved. Knox, for sure. And then John, and then same you had the same exact question right below it. Knox. He's a talent level tier break over Foster Moreau. Brendan, what's going on? Start Miles Sanders, Saquon, or Justin Jackson? Oof. I like Miles Sanders this week. I do. Justin Jackson is in a smash spot and Saquon is Saquon, but Saquon, it hasn't been, there's only been 3 or 4 good weeks, and this Giants offense is a train wreck right now. Jackson's in a smash spot. It's a great matchup, but Miles Sanders is his team starter. The Eagles are running the ball collectively as a team better than anybody right now. Collectively as a team, the Eagles are running the ball better than anyone. Their offensive line looks phenomenal. The Giants are giving up they're not Houston Texans bad, which is Jackson's opponent, but the Giants are giving up plenty of production to running backs for fantasy in their own right. Miles Sanders is in a good spot. back-to-back 100-yard games the past 2 weeks. The Eagles are going to run the ball. I think they're going to win this game. I think they'll be running the ball. They run the ball even when they're trailing. All game scripts, the Eagles are running the ball. Give me Miles Sanders. If you can only start one of those guys, give me Miles Sanders. Justin Jackson would be second. That's how far Saquon has fallen for me. Yeah. Tajikarp, start Seals Jones or Foster Moreau. I would probably lean Moreau. Just Washington feels like a situation to avoid right now. I'd go Moreau. He's going to at least see 100% of the snaps. It's not a good matchup by the numbers against the Broncos, but they're at home. He should see 100% of the snaps. Seals Jones is getting work siphoned by John Bates as well. So I would go Moreau. And Surf, just to be crystal clear, I am starting Brevin Jordan over a guy like Austin Hooper. I would play Brevin Jordan. Houston, no Brandon Cooks. Let's take the upside. He's healthy. He missed last week. The week before, he caught a touchdown at 4 for 26 and a touchdown. Good matchup by the numbers against the Chargers, and somebody needs to step up on that offense. Give me Brevin Jordan. Onate, Onate. Not sure if I'm saying that correctly. Apologies if I'm saying it wrong. But your question's Justin Jackson or Javonte Williams? Javonte. Javonte. He might be the 1B. Justin Jackson might be the 1A today. Javonte's just the better player. Jackson's got the better matchup, there's no doubt. But Javonte's in a good matchup, too. The Raiders give up plenty of points to running backs. Javonte's an explosive player. He's a big playmaker. The Broncos want to run the ball. They're going to want to maybe run the ball even more with Drew Lock in there instead of Teddy Bridgewater. Not that there's much of a difference there, but a backup's a backup. I think Javonte and Melvin Gordon are going to continue to see plenty of work tomorrow. And Javonte's a top 10 option for me moving forward. He's that good. And I'm that big of a believer. Javonte. Tim, what do I think about Mark Andrews? You have to play him. I mean, will he get a 30 burger like he did last week? Probably not. Could he get half of that? Sure. If the Ravens are trailing or are not winning this game, if the Bengals are winning this game, the Ravens are still going to be throwing despite the fact that they're playing a third-string quarterback. And Andrews will be the top target like he has been pretty much, for the past 8 weeks or so. He stole the number one option role from Hollywood Brown some point in the midway point of the season. Still the team's top option. And backup the mantra, the narrative, backup quarterbacks, they look for their big, safe targets. That's Mark Andrews. You have to start him. You're not playing anybody else over him. You're just hoping for the best. He should be fine. I wouldn't expect a ceiling game, but he should be fine. Homer Simpson, all the way from Springfield. What's going on? Must-win game. Hell yeah, man. It's the playoffs. Got to start 3 of Booker, Mike Davis, DPJ, Ertz, Judy, Galladay, and Lazard. I would play Lazard here. I would play Lazard here. He's got some upside. You're in a must-win game. Need upside. You just lost Lamar, so you don't have a QB either. Throw your options in the chat, Homer. Who are your options? Who can you pick up? But as far as your start 3, Lazard would be one for me, would be one of your flex guys. I think he's got upside today. No MVS, at home, attached to Aaron Rodgers. Volume might be limited, but there's an opportunity for a big play there. These other options are difficult. If you need a running back, I guess I would play Mike Davis. At least they're playing the Lions. The Falcons are playing the Lions, so that's a pretty good matchup. And Davis has had some decent PPR weeks here and there. So if you have to pick one of the running backs, I would play Davis. Lazard would be one of my flex guys. And then I think I'm between DPJ and Ertz. Judy can't be trusted after goose-egging last week. And Kenny Galladay can't be trusted. He's been way too inconsistent, and he's going to see Darius Slay tomorrow. So Judy and Galladay are out for me. It's DPJ is a big play, and he does get Baker Mayfield back. So I think I would slightly lean DPJ. It's a bad matchup having to play on the road in Lambeau, but he gets Baker back. Jarvis Landry is back, so that might open things up for DPJ. The offense or the defense can't necessarily focus on him or key on him. Ertz is a safe play. If you feel like you can play, I know it's a must-win game. I think Lazard is a good upside play. Davis should be your running back, and then DPJ is another upside play if you think you need it. Ertz might be a little bit safer of a play. The matchup isn't good by the numbers. The Colts are good on defense, but they're at home. Cardinals are at home in a game where they should play better after getting embarrassed in Detroit last week. So hopefully that helps, Homer. And then let me know who your options are at quarterback as far as who you can pick up. Excuse me. Nick Hobie, what's going on? DeAndre Swift or Saquon? It's got to be Swift, despite the concerns. Despite the workload concerns, I think it's got to be Swift. If he's active, he's got to be in. Saquon's just really hard to trust right now. He's really hard to trust. If Swift is out, sure, play Saquon. If Swift is out, play Saquon. And I would play Saquon over Amon-Ra as well. But I'm not playing him. If DeAndre Swift is active, Nick, if we get the DeAndre Swift removed from the injury report, if we get that report going into the game, it's got to be Swift. He's been a difference maker this year.
Yeah,
I would play Swift.
Can you hear me?
Do we have a is this a guest appearance? What's going on? I don't see your camera just yet.
It'll come on. I'm on.
Okay.
I see myself. What's going on, everybody? Happy holidays.
Yeah, do your Merry Christmas greetings. You're late, but that's okay. Family obligations. We understand.
Where we at? What's going on?
We're helping the people. We're kind of closest. I'm kind of closest to the end actually of the chat right now.
Man, well, thank you very much for holding it down.
Yeah, no problem.
My girlfriend's family coming over for dinner.
Good job.
Brunch.
And there you are. I see you now.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Where we at? Let me look. What question did you just answer? Thank you to everybody who's in here. Thank you for everybody who super chatted and threw questions in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks to you. I can't speak. For holding it down.
Yeah, no problem. Happy to do it. A lot of Ronald Jones questions. I'm not as high on him this week as a lot of people are. I know there are a lot of pundits and experts that like him this week in a smash spot. I'm not crazy about it, so I've been pretty much advocating for other options over the likes of Ronald Jones. The tier break for me being someone like Darrell Henderson, who I'm not sure he's completely out of the offense yet, but is probably the 1B. But like any other guy, like a Justin Jackson, I'd rather play him. So just to get you caught up on one of the themes of today. Right now we are at, I just answered Homer Simpson's question, calling him from Springfield, Illinois. I just answered his question, and I was in the middle of answering Nick Hobie's question. Yeah, I just answered Homer's question. I said he needs one running back and two flex. I went Mike Davis, and I said Donovan Peoples-Jones, I said Lazard should be in. Donovan Peoples-Jones is an upside play. Ertz is maybe like a safer floor play, and Judy and Galladay should probably not be considered.
Yeah, I would agree with all that.
There you go.
Yeah.
And then I was just answering Nick Hobie's question.
What's going on?
DeAndre Swift or Saquon. I said Swift if he's in. Swift if he's in. I think if he's active, it's got to be Swift. He's been a PPR difference maker this year. Saquon's been very blah.
I mean, Saquon is finally back from his. I mean, it seems like he's finally fully back, integrated into the offense. He's the only offensive weapon they have. You could say the same thing about the Lions with Swift.
Yeah.
I don't know where I go here, man. Because Saquon, we were kind of off
Swift.
Saquon, and he had a pretty decent game last week. Did he not?
Nah, he didn't. He had 15 carries for 50 yards, and he caught 4 of 8 targets for 24 yards.
Okay, never mind.
He had a good week 2 weeks ago where he caught a garbage time touchdown.
That's what I was thinking of. All right.
It's a good matchup. I don't believe in Saquon right now. This Giants offense is awful.
Yeah, I don't even think it's Saquon. I don't believe in the Giants offense.
No, I don't believe in the Giants offense. Not that the Lions are that much better, but Swift has been better this year.
Yeah, I would go Swift.
If he's healthy, but I would go if Swift is out and your option is Saquon or Amon-Ra, I would go Saquon.
Yes.
And then Knox or Ertz, I would say Knox.
I mean, no Cole Beasley, no Gabe Davis against the Patriots.
Or I think I said earlier, no Emmanuel Sanders. I'm sorry. Somebody was asking a Dawson Knox question. I said no Emmanuel Sanders. I apologize.
No, Emmanuel Sanders should
be
Gabe
Davis.
A low-end,
Sanders is in.
Wide receiver 2 this week.
Sanders is in. You can't. You can't play him.
Sanders?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
He has no showed for so long.
Yeah, but look at the rest of the pieces in this offense and look at what the Patriots do on defense. They shut down your best weapon, so you have to go to the ancillary weapons, and they have shut down tight ends this year.
But you're playing Knox over
You're playing
Ertz,
Knox
right?
because he's in one of the best offenses and consolidated target share. And the reason why he didn't blow up in the last New England game was weather related.
I'm finishing up breakfast, by the way. You're giving me a reprieve.
I would still go Knox over Ertz.
Yeah. Yeah, no Beasley.
You can absolutely play Emmanuel Sanders this week and feel decent about him. The other options in that, the Bills are going to try to run up numbers on the Patriots because they were embarrassed the last time they met, and they don't have the weapons to be able to do so.
Yeah.
Knox and Emmanuel Sanders are those weapons.
Sanders hasn't come up in a start sit question yet. I'm realizing earlier I said that he was out and I meant Gabe Davis. So I apologize. Regardless, there were questions earlier about Knox or some other options at tight end. Knox was the clear choice.
Yes, and I think it is Knox over Ertz.
The same. And I would play. Yeah, I agree. I would play Knox over Ertz.
Yep.
So hopefully that helps, Nick. Samuel Contreras, we're down to Lazard or AJ Green. I think Lazard is an interesting upside play today at home with no MVS. That's what I would do. I would play Lazard over. Like, AJ Green's interesting. Like, the Cardinals should bounce back today after getting embarrassed.
Aaron Rodgers has been hot passing.
Yeah. I think the Cardinals get back on track today, but I think Lazard is more of an like floor should be fine. Volume might not necessarily be there if the Packers are winning this game. But Lazard has a chance to come through for a big play with Marquez Valdez-Scantling on the COVID list.
Yep.
So I would play him. No update. Wait.
Huh?
Let me see if I can get an update on Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Apparently, it's not been confirmed what his situation is. Regardless, I think I would play.
Get the schedule up for this week.
Regardless, I think I would play Lazard. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, this is from a Green Bay sports anchor, Matt Reynolds, Valdez-Scantling remains on the COVID list. I would play Lazard, Samuel. I would play Lazard.
I would too.
The hammy.
I would too.
The hammy was going on.
Don't get injured.
Yeah, please.
Rodgers or Stafford? Stafford playing the Vikings.
Stafford on the short week playing the Vikings. Good matchup. Rodgers at home in Lambeau. Not as good of a matchup, but Rodgers at home negates all of that. Rodgers.
I would go Rodgers. I mean, at this point, he's playing to get that MVP.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like they're going to be letting up if they get up big. I think they'll keep running the offense the way they run their offense. Rodgers.
I would.
They're close in their rankings this week.
They're close. I think the intangibles are like Rodgers at home, Browns playing on a short week. Rodgers.
Yep.
And sir, if you're welcome for the. I told him Brevin Jordan over Austin Hooper because no Brandon Cooks. Good matchup. Take it. Rolling the dice on Brevin.
Yeah.
I'm rolling the dice on Brevin Jordan this week. If you need a tight end stream, I think if you need a deep tight end stream, I think he's perfectly fine.
He's a good bet for a TD.
I think so.
Could even get some good decent PPR usage.
Could. No doubt.
Green up. Variety. What's going on? DK or Alan Lazard?
Yo, that's wild. We're having this conversation.
It is. It is.
DK has been awful though. Like, there's no way you can feel any type of confidence about
Lockett was
DK Metcalf right now.
reactivated.
Right, Lockett is back.
If y'all haven't checked out, I just did a video on DK. And in this situation, I'd be going Allen Lazard, and that's crazy. But I'd be going Allen Lazard. I would, because honestly, if you're looking for upside right now, DK has none. And at least Allen Lazard has some upside, or has shown upside more recently over the last 6 games.
Yeah.
DK, over the last 6 games, since week 8, he's been the wide receiver 73.
That's awful.
He started off the season in the first 8 games. He was the wide receiver 5. And then in the last 6 to 7 games, he's been the wide receiver 73. So you can't play DK right now.
He got 12 targets last week.
Caught 6 of them, and didn't give you a ceiling
52.
week without
no big
without
play.
Lockett. And now Lockett's back. So no,
Right.
Allen Lazard.
Holy hell. I'm inclined to agree.
And honestly, DK should still be going up against the team's number 1 wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
And Allen Lazard gets the benefit of going up against, or cornerback, not wide receiver. And Allen Lazard gets the benefit of going up against a lesser cornerback. So, yeah, Lazard. And I can't believe we're there.
Can't believe we're there.
It pains me to admit, but yeah, DK.
But
I don't know.
I agree.
don't know.
That's where we're at. Nick got another tight end question. Brevin Jordan or James O'Shaughnessy if Kelsey is out. Brevin. Yeah, give me Brevin. There's touchdown upside and then some with no Brandon Cooks in a good matchup.
And Davis Mills looked decent last week. I don't think he's going to have quite the same week this week, but he looked decent last week.
Yeah, he looked all right.
Terrible. So, yeah, Brevin Jordan.
Oh,
He
Brevin
hate
Jordan.
me. Yo, what's up, bro? I like that
Does he
name.
hate me? Ronald Jones or Aaron Jones? Aaron Jones.
Yeah, I don't think that's close.
Aaron Jones. Play your Packers at home. I know Jones is in more of a timeshare these days with Dylan, but he still caught a touchdown last week on the road. Like, Packers at home. Give me Aaron Jones.
Especially with that team down some weapons. I mean, no MBS.
No
What's
MBS.
Randall Cobb's status?
He's out.
He's out. So yeah, Aaron Jones is a good play. Rojo might get all the work, but he's not particularly effective.
Jones is just a better player.
Well, Aaron is a better player.
Good call.
Both named Jones.
Yeah, Aaron Jones is better than Ronald Jones. I'll go Aaron.
Yep. One has PPR upside, one doesn't.
Right.
So, Aaron Jones.
Let's see. And lost Lamar, lost Huntley, green up Garrity. Who are your options? Throw in the chat who your options are. Happy to help, but let's see them.
Yeah, I know you've probably talked about this already, but it is one of the ugliest weeks I remember in fantasy for trying to patch together a lineup. It is crazy.
COVID has impacted it. Injuries have impacted it. It's like, it's tough. It's tough
Game
out there.
Postponements to where you're not sure if you should be starting this person over this person just because the schedule is all wonky. Yeah, man, it's weird. So yeah, let us know. Let us know who the other available pieces are, and we can better help you out.
There was like some aluminum in my smoothie. Sorry about that, everybody. That's weird. I'm not drinking any more of that. So sorry for that. Sorry for that picture.
Zach Free, what's going on? Nick Chubb or Josh Jacobs? Pick one.
Chubb.
Josh Jacobs. I don't feel like he ever hits the ceiling that we.
Jacobs should get all the work.
He'll get all the work. He seems to hit his floor every week. I don't think he hits his ceiling very often. Whereas Nick Chubb's one of the 5 best rushers in the NFL, I would go Nick Chubb. Not that Josh Jacobs isn't good. It's just, I don't know. I'd rather play Nick
Chubb is a better player. Chubb's a better player. Jacobs should see all the work, but yeah, he's not as I don't care. He's not as reliable. Chubb on the road doesn't feel as good in Green Bay, but he's been he's a top 7 or 8 option any given week. Got to rock with him. No Kareem Hunt once again.
Yeah. Oh no, that
Chubb.
makes it easy. That makes it easy, Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb. And I mean, Josh Jacobs isn't a bad swerve if you need somebody, especially this week with all the people that are injured or out. But he's a floor play to me, and Nick Chubb is the ceiling play. And should I flex Pittman Jr. tonight, or should I use Devonta Freeman, Devin Singletary, or Van Jefferson?
I assume, I guess that's Van Jefferson.
I would guess if you're choosing from those players, it's not.
Yeah.
Just
no, I would play Pittman. I would just play Pittman.
Higher upside, or the highest upside.
Yeah, safe floor. You know, by default, you assume he's not going to get ejected again.
You would think the efficiency's there too, and even when the efficiency isn't there, they've shown that they want to use him in the run game too. There was that one game 2 weeks ago where he caught like 70, a couple of catches for 70 yards, and then had a run for 33 yards as well. So Pittman.
Game script should be in his favor.
Yeah. And Chris M7, thank you, man. You too.
Yeah, thanks for joining. Both of you. If Thielen plays, Gibson, Parker, Amon-Ra, pick one. Gibson, but I don't feel good about it.
Gibson.
There's downside, but he's going to get an RB1 workload.
Gibson.
Like, there's plenty of downside. By the way, Chuckman said your mic is a little low.
My mic is low. All right. Thank you.
Little low.
Turn that up a little bit. Check.
There you go.
All right. There we go. Thank you, man.
Gibson should see RB1 work. He's picked up the toe injury. He might be limited. Washington's vibes are bad. They're on 5 days rest. It's a bad matchup, but he's a tier break over those wide receivers. I think I have to suck it up and play Gibson among those options.
Yep.
If Thielen doesn't play, I think I lean Parker over Amon-Ra, just because Amon-Ra won't have Goff.
And I mean, if Swift is back,
yeah, that's true.
They could just push all their work to Swift, and Amon-Ra doesn't quite have the ceiling that we've seen from him.
As much as he can handle, yeah.
Yep.
But Gibson, I don't feel great about it, but there should be a little bit of volume there. Yeah.
Hope that helps, man. Ethan Roberts, Tom Brady, or Joe Burrow?
Slight edge to Burrow. He has all his weapons. He has Jamar Chase. He has T. Higgins. He has Joe Mixon.
Yeah, we got to see Tom Brady for a week.
Burrow. Like, Brady's better than probably anybody on the wire, but Burrow shouldn't be on the wire.
He was the QB, 25 last week?
Yeah, it wasn't good.
With his weapons going out halfway through the game, then no Fournette for the entire game. Burrow. Yeah.
Burrow. And Chuck, you got it, man. Happy to help everybody. Happy to hold down the fort.
Yep, and thanks for helping with the technicals too.
True.
The Hammy, Gesicki, or Evan Ingram against the defense that's bad against TEs.
Yeah, the Eagles are bad against tight ends. I would still play Gesicki.
Yeah.
I tried that a couple weeks ago when Travis Kelce was on a bye week. Evan Ingram played the Eagles. It's a trap. He didn't do anything. Gesicki's the safe play.
And the high upside play. And the ceiling.
Yeah.
Play. He's the floor and the ceiling play. Gesicki.
He's the play over Ingram. I just don't trust Ingram. Oh, Homer needed to pick up a quarterback.
Wentz, Trevor Lawrence, Josh Johnston. Who's Josh Johnston?
He's gonna play for the Ravens.
Okay.
Because Huntley's out.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to look at any Roto World updates this morning. I've been
we got some breaking news. The Chargers have placed Mike Williams on the COVID list. Ooh. Mike Williams is out for the Chargers tomorrow, so Keenan Allen is going to get all the work he can handle. Justin Jackson may have also seen a boost with this news. And And so did Jared Cook, if anybody needs a tight end stream.
And I mean, we've seen both Josh Palmer and Jalen Guyton step up when they're.
Yeah, they've stepped up as well. But who specifically on any given week?
Well, in the week where they didn't have, where it was Mike Williams and no one else, and Eckler and no one else, they both caught touchdowns. So it's hard to say who has the edge there, but with no Mike Williams, with no Austin Eckler, I feel like there are worse pivots if you're at wide receiver and need someone.
Yeah. And then just to, like, Tyreek Hill has been activated off the COVID list. Cam Akers was activated to the active roster, which is an incredible turnaround.
There were rumblings of that happening a few weeks ago.
Yeah, it became official, but still, like, talk about a remarkable recovery.
From an injury that, I mean, historically people never recover from.
Yeah, and he suffered it in July. Beast. But so anyway, so Huntley is going to be out for the Ravens. Lamar was already ruled out. Huntley is now on the COVID list, so he's out. So Josh Johnson's going to start for Baltimore.
Kirk Cousins is also there. I mean, for me, it'd be.
Yeah, if you can, yes,
you can
Homer,
Cousins,
spend all your spend your fob to get Cousins. If you can't get him, I think I lean Wilson. At least he's at home in a great matchup against
head coach, with no Robert Saleh. Isn't Saleh still on the COVID list?
Saleh's the defensive guy. I'm not as worried about that.
You wouldn't go Wentz in a game plan where you're expecting Pittman to. I mean, you said earlier
it's kind
you
of
expect
bad.
Pittman.
Arizona's good. Just because I like Pittman doesn't mean I like his quarterback.
Fair. I mean, and Wentz has been a floor play for.
He's been up and down, yeah, and it's not a good matchup.
Zach Wilson's a rough start, but I mean the option of those options, you can't play Davis Mills down as wide receiver 1.
Yeah, he's at home. Wilson's at home. Like, Jacksonville's there's nothing bad about that matchup. Nothing scary about it. I would play Wilson. Hope for the best.
Try to get Kirk.
Wilson would be my fallback. That's my plan. Ethan Gesicki is safer than Ingram. There's no doubt. Hollywood, Gage, DJ Moore, or Amon Ra start 1. I think it has to be Gage.
Yeah, we flipped. Now we gotta advocate starting Gage.
Now we gotta start Russell Gage. He's a wide receiver too.
And this is when he won't perform.
Right, but it's against the Lions. There's nothing scary about the matchup. Like, Gage has been rock solid recently. He's a steady wide receiver 2. Hollywood's down the Ravens' top 2 options at quarterback. Is Moore even going to play? He's been dealing with a hamstring. He's also been dealing with a quarterback carousel. That's just
looks like, isn't Sam Darnold going to start again?
Oh, God, really?
Yeah, I think they're back to Sam Darnold, man. I think it's that bad.
Okay. I would not play DJ Moore as a result. And Amon Ra's down Goff. At least Gage has his quarterback.
Yeah,
I would play Gage. Couple of news updates from Sleeper here. This one's not super surprising, but Chargers tight end Donald Parham is placed on IR. His season is over. Hopefully he gets better. That was a nasty.
That injury was a rough looking one.
Scary looking for sure. So hopefully he recovers. This impacts people tomorrow. Chiefs have activated tight end Travis Kelce. They've also activated Nick Bolton and Lucas Niang from the COVID-19 reserve list. Added them to the injury report as questionable. So Travis Kelce is on the active roster, but has not yet cleared COVID-19 protocols, even though he's been activated from the list. I don't know what that means.
That's that's the middle ground that's made possible by that the new rules.
Oh, okay.
You know, I mean, that never would have happened with the prior rules before the change.
Prior rules, he would be out.
Yeah.
But okay. Kelce is not 100% in the clear yet, but this news is a positive step forward. But we're not out of the woods yet.
Is Hill expected to play?
Hill is activated. Hill is good. Tyreek Hill is good to go. Tyreek Hill's good to go.
Okay.
From what I've seen, he's good to go. Anyway, let's get back to these questions. Ethan, I saw real quick. You said you're leaning DJ. I would not lean DJ. I would lean Gage. That's just me. Now, Cade Krishner. What's going on, Cade? Pick 2 to start. Renfro, T. Higgins, Metcalf, Terry McLaurin in standard. Standard scoring. I would say Higgins is one of your guys here. It's a good spot against Baltimore. They're a mess on defense. They're a mess as a team in general right now, down to their third string quarterback. For me, it's either Terry or Renfro. Standard scoring makes Renfro a little less appealing.
I think I'd be going Terry.
Terry doesn't feel great right now either. Like, bad matchup. Hasn't been very good recently.
Yeah, but he's been better than DK.
Well, yeah, that's why I'm thinking. Well, I'm thinking Renfro in a bounce back. I think Higgins and Renfro.
Do you?
Renfro dudded last week, but before that, he had been a wide receiver 1. Darren Waller's out again. Terry just hasn't been getting it done. Cade, I would say Higgins and Renfro.
Yeah, I guess that's the safe option is Renfro. I gotta check what Terry did last week.
He caught 2 balls for 52 yards. One of them was like a 40-yard play, but okay. he's not. He's okay. Like that's a low floor for him.
Does he get his quarterback back or no?
Heineke is back.
Okay.
So that helps.
So we're not expecting.
It's not going to be Gilbert.
Garrett Gilbert or whatever.
Garrett Gilbert. Yeah. It's not going to be that. It's going to be Heineke, but that hasn't necessarily been good news for Terry recently.
Yeah.
I think I go Higgins and Renfro. They've been a little safer recently.
Yeah.
That's what I'm leaning.
And Artjum, what does John think about Claypool or Landry in PPR? I mean, Claypool isn't. Freiermuth out. Freiermuth is out.
Freiermuth is out. I think Artjum asked this earlier. I said Claypool was like a ceiling play. If you feel like you need some upside, Landry is a maybe safer play. If you feel like
I'd rather play Claypool. If I was in your position, Artjum, and I had to choose between Claypool and Landry, I would be playing Claypool and hoping for that upside week. I mean, it's the fantasy playoffs. You got to go balls to the wall. And Landry, just safe play. I get it. Playing Green Bay, they're gonna have to throw to rack up points and stuff.
But game script should be in Claypool's favor too. It's just he dudded last week.
Yeah.
Claypool's an upside play. There's that. Yeah.
And honestly, I think he's got a solid floor because even if he doesn't hit that upside, he's going to be peppered with targets.
They should be peppering them with targets. Yeah. Him and Deontay. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Claypool.
Okay. Anth John, one full PPR, Barrios or Tyler Johnson? I think Barrios.
You got Barrios, man. He's been the team's wide receiver 1.
Yeah.
Over the past 2 weeks.
Tyler Johnson should see an increased role, but he's still got Antonio Brown and Gronk ahead of him, presumably in the pecking order. He's still at best the team's third best option, and he just hasn't been delivering in that role.
And he has to contend with Brashad Perryman, right?
I don't know if the Perryman has been activated off the COVID list. We'd have to double check that. But I would say Barrios, especially in full PPR, like he should, no Crowder. Barrios should see work.
Yep. Barrios.
Yeah. And Ethan agreed with us. Renfro and Higgins. There you go.
Boom.
Love to see it, guys.
Thanks, Ethan.
Yeah. Appreciate the assist. Jay Berg. Sit one, Lockett, Kirk. I assume that's Christian Kirk or Higgins. You're not sitting Higgins.
And honestly, I don't think you can sit Lockett.
I don't think you can sit Lockett either.
I talked about the first 8 games versus the last 6 to 7 games for DK. Lockett was the wide receiver 19 in the first 8 games, and then he dropped down to the wide receiver 14 in the past 6 to 7 games. He's a very high-end wide receiver too.
Yeah,
you can't sit him, so you got to.
Kirk had a good game last week. It's a little bit tougher of a matchup this week against Indianapolis. Lockett's got wide receiver 1 upside. Like Kirk, the odds are longer. That's all. Like he can do it, but the odds are a little longer. And if we don't believe in Metcalf, with Lockett coming back at home, there's a reason to feel good about Lockett, going back to getting plenty of targets and being the guy that Russell Wilson does have a good connection with.
Yeah.
I would sit Kirk, Jay. I think we're in agreement there.
And we got a couple of supers. Do we want to jump down and get to those, or?
Oh, Lucius, appreciate that. And
Pukes.
Appreciate that, guys. Yep. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate that. Yeah, absolutely. I didn't realize that this chat has expanded a little bit more. Sorry, everybody. Yeah, Alan Lazard, Mike Will, Tyler Johnson, Jarvis Landry, PPR pick 2. So Mike Williams is out, so that kind of makes it a little easier as far as making the decision. I think Lazard has to be in, and I would play Landry over Tyler Johnson.
Yeah. You balance it out. Landry's safer, and then Alan Lazard gets you that high upside.
A little bit of upside. Yep. Right. Yep.
Tyler Johnson is all. I mean, it's all.
It's a hit or miss. Like Antonio Brown is back. Gronk is still there. He's at best the third option. Like Scotty Miller.
We haven't seen Tyler Johnson have a boom week.
We haven't really seen Tyler Johnson have a week.
Yeah. Yeah. Alan Lazard and Jarvis Landry.
Lazard and Landry.
And PPR, sure. Yep.
All right. Sorry about that. I didn't notice the supers. My bad. Got caught up in some of the questions above. So we're gonna have to move a little bit through these, but appreciate everybody's patience. Sorry for the delay. Let's keep it moving. Lucius Landry. First of all, thanks for the super. Landry, Penny, or Damian Harris. You can wait.
What's your format?
You can wait, right? You can wait if you want to play Damian Harris, right? If you want to play Harris as like an RB2, you can wait until Penny plays, right? The Patriots.
I wouldn't be. I mean, I would be going firmly if it would be a choice between Landry and Damian Harris for me. Penny wouldn't. I mean, isn't Alex Collins back? And Penny had a bad game last week, and it looked like he got a little bit banged up there, and DJ Dallas came in and did his thing for a few plays. Like Penny had a really hot week, and then he had a week that was pretty iffy. And I don't know if he gets that starting role back now that Alex Collins is back. I think it just becomes a weird committee.
So is Landry here's the thing. If you're picking Landry, you have to do it today because Landry's playing in about 20 minutes.
Damian Harris doesn't he have the hammy, and he's questionable with the hammy?
Hamstring, questionable with the hamstring, going up against a bad matchup against the Bills. But he did break off a run against them 2 weeks ago for a touchdown.
Yeah,
and Ramondre Stevenson is out. I think I would wait on Damian Harris, hope he plays, and I would pivot to Penny if I had to. Because I would want to play Damian Harris. If Harris is in, of these three, he's the guy I want to play.
If Harris is in, I'd want to play Harris. If Harris is out, I might be looking for a Brandon Bolden off the wire. I'm not going to lie.
Sure, fine.
I would do that. I do not like Penny this week.
Okay, but I would be willing. But I want to wait on Harris over Landry.
No.
You don't want to wait on Harris over Landry?
No, I agree with you.
Okay. Sorry. Got it.
My bad.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Waiting on Harris, but then I wouldn't pivot to Penny. I would pivot to trying to get Brandon Bolden off the wire, and if he's not there, then Penny's the last resort.
Yep.
But Damian Harris offers too much upside for me not to play him.
Yep. appreciate those super guys. We got a ton of questions to get through and only 20 minutes left of game time. So let's start blasting through these a little bit. Appreciate everybody's patience.
Yeah, and sorry about that, Pukes.
Yeah,
You made him wait a little bit
everybody.
there.
So we got so we said berries for Anth John. Opponent has Marco Coles. Opponent has Melvin Gordon. You have Javonte. Should you play Jackson or Harris instead? No, play Javonte. He's a top 10 option every week. Play Javonte. Robert
Shavonte, I like that.
Shavonte. Yeah, but he's the dude. Play Javonte Williams, Marco. Emmanuel Otoa. Giassi? I hope I'm saying that right.
Giassi. Yep.
What's going on, Emmanuel? Full PPR, Pitts, Thielen, St. Brown, Swift. I would say Swift if he's in. If Swift goes, I have to play him. If him and Thielen are both in, I think I still lean Swift. He's been in full PPR with no TJ Hawkinson. Yes, it's a backup quarterback, but we've seen running backs in recent weeks do well with backup quarterbacks. It's happened several times now.
There is a little bit of a positive correlation there just because they force feed him more.
Right. They want to run. Yeah. Easy targets, easy touches, easy ways to get the ball in the hands of a playmaker.
Yep.
Swift, if he's in. If he's out and Thielen is in, I go Thielen. If both Swift and Thielen are out, I think I would say
I'd go St. Brown.
I think I would say St. Brown, especially because they would be down. Then they would be down Swift. Right. Then they would be down Swift.
Yeah.
So I would say Swift if he goes, Emmanuel. If he doesn't go, Thielen. If Thielen's in, and if Thielen is out, go St. Brown.
And Andrew, what's going on? Thanks for the super.
Andrew,
much appreciated.
That, man, very much.
G'day, fellas. Need 2 Thielen, Hollywood, current starters, options: DJ, Lazard, Van Jefferson, Parker. Jason. Damn,
Jason, that's really kind, man. Thank
much
you so
appreciated.
Much.
Thank you.
We do this because we love to do it. So
yeah, but thank you for being in here and always being part of this community, all that stuff, all that jazz. You already know. Much appreciated.
Yeah, too kind. Very much appreciated. To everybody in here, thank you for your patience. Thank you for your time, like spending time with us this year. We do this because we do this for you guys. You guys make it worthwhile. Make it for us. Look forward to doing these streams. That being said, I know we're on a time crunch. Andrew, Thielen and Hollywood are your current starters. I would maybe pivot off both of those guys. Hollywood is healthy, but third string quarterback, and he's been quiet recently.
And Thielen, you just don't know right now.
Thielen, you just don't know. DJ,
Lazard?
Is that DJ Moore? If that's DJ Moore, he can't be an option. The hamstring injury.
I'd be going
and the
Lazard and Van J.
I would go Lazard. I would go Lazard. Parker's in the conversation because I think he could be the team's #1 target. I know Jalen Waddle is back, but it could be. Depends on who Lattimore sees. And I think the Dolphins' offense
I'd be going Lazard and Van J.
I think Van J is fine. He didn't do much last week, but it's a much better matchup this week against the Vikings. The Vikings are a pass funnel defense, so Van J is a perfectly fine option. I think Lazard and Van J are fine. Parker's interesting.
My
Van
problem
J
with Parker versus Van J is that Parker seems like to hit his ceiling, he needs more work thrown his way. Where Van Jefferson, even though there are other pieces in this offense, he can give you a ceiling week off of 3 to 4 catches, 3 to 4 targets. I'd be going Van J and hoping and off the bet that he can get a TD.
Okay. I mean, it's a great matchup.
Can't drop Thielen. Well, we're not advocating dropping Thielen.
No, don't drop him. I just don't know if he's going to play.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to play. He's questionable with a hammy. Apparently, he should look. If he's active, he has to play. And
it'd be him and Lazard for me if he's active.
Then yeah, if Thielen is active, Thielen and Lazard. If Thielen is out, Lazard and Van J.
And defense, the Chargers, the Chiefs, or the Packers.
The Chargers against Houston. it's
down
just
their
a
number
great-
one. Yeah.
Down Brandon Cooks. It's a favorable matchup anyway. Down Brandon Cooks. I know they're on the road and they're down multiple pieces on offense, but this is a pretty good defense. I would say the Chargers against Houston. Yeah.
And shrimp on the barbie.
Hell yeah. Do
Word.
what you got to do today. Eat all the good food, everybody.
Yep.
Eat all the good food.
And I know we got a lot of questions. I just
got
want to
a
say
lot.
we started this channel really like in May-ish of last year, and we had like 30 subs. We just passed 2,500, and that's all thanks to you guys. Thank you guys so much for giving us the ability to do this. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because we could be up here talking to ourselves, but we're not. We're talking with y'all. Much appreciated.
Much appreciated.
But let's
Where
get
are
back
we
to it.
at?
Let's get back to these questions.
Yeah,
Let's
so
rapid fire these.
Jay Berg has Everett or Brevin Jordan. I would say Brevin Jordan. There's a little bit more upside there. He could be the team's top option in the passing game tomorrow. Could
Yeah,
be.
if Lockett was back, or Lockett wasn't back, I'd go Everett. But I think Brevin Jordan's the safer play.
B, happy holidays. Banged up
you
DJ
too.
Moore or Van Jefferson? Play Van. I don't feel good about it's not DJ Moore. It's his situation. Hamstring injury, quarterback carousel. Van Jefferson's in a much better situation and a great matchup.
Yeah.
Jonathan, would you flex Michael Carter or Dylan over Renfro or Higgins in full PPR? I like Dylan today, but because it's full PPR, I think I'd keep the receivers in there.
Yeah, and I mean they're both decent PPR options at wide receiver too. I would be sticking with those wide receivers.
Yeah.
I do like Dylan a lot though as well. CXK, happy
Yeah,
holidays to you too.
Happy holidays to you.
Start sit Bateman, Dylan, Rondale, Tony.
If it's only one, Dylan. And there, it's kind of obvious. Like Green Bay running back at home in Lambeau, over some wide receiver threes.
And then I think I'd go Rondale, even though I mean.
Yeah, I would go Rondale second.
Just because
Rondale
of the
second.
quarterback situation in Baltimore,
Right.
yuck, and Tony's the whole situation on the Giants is just yuck too. So Rondale.
Yep. Jonathan, you could also flex Damian Harris because he's questionable and because you have some good options at wide receiver. I would stick with what you got.
Yep.
Yeah, stick with those two.
And once again, Ethan, thank you. You're on point.
Yeah, Higgins and Renfro should be fine tomorrow, Jonathan. They've been steady, especially Renfro. Emmanuel, we got your question already. Sorry, appreciate your patience.
Yep.
Sometimes these questions get backed up.
Yep.
Marco, can you thoughts on Braxton Berrios? Yeah, I mean,
he's the Jets wide receiver 1 right now.
He should be a sneaky PPR monster tomorrow. Like, there's no reason to believe he can't get 6 or 7 catches. Great matchup against Jacksonville at home.
And he's been decent at getting touchdowns when he's been thrust into the role. So, there are worse options for sure.
Yeah.
But high upside wide receiver 3?
High upside wide receiver 3 for sure.
Yep. Baltimore secondary is hot ass.
They are hot ass.
Man.
Like, yeah, if
That's
I think he's talking about Higgins and Renfro. Yeah, Higgins is in a great spot, and I think Renfro bounces back this week. He's been a wide receiver 1, even though he dudded last week.
Yep.
Javonte, we got
Javonte.
that. Yeah, I think you maybe you missed it. I got that question from you earlier. It's Javonte. Play Javonte. He's just a better player. Big Calm, what's going on? Lost Eckler, crap. And Cooks and Huntley. You might have Kelsey back. It's not looking like an amazing chance, but I would say.
Yeah, man, that's rough,
zero.
though, bro. That's rough. That's about as rough a situation as you can be in right now.
If you have
That's almost
Jonathan
a starting
Taylor,
lineup.
you've got a chance. If you've got Jonathan Taylor, you'll always have a shot.
And the chance that Kelsey's back into.
Yeah. Hold out hope, man. We're gonna get there. We'll figure it out. Sabo, whatever. SBO. I don't know. Ronald Jones or Justin Jackson? I'd say Jackson. The matchup is phenomenal. And down Mike Williams, like somebody else needs to step up in that offense. Like Jackson's not, obviously he's a running back, not a wide receiver, but he can catch passes. Great matchup. No Eckler.
Or Mike Will.
Yeah, I would play Jackson. I would say Jackson.
Yeah.
Tajikart, Bills D or Chiefs D against Pittsburgh. Bills defense is better. Chiefs defense is playing well right now. Bills intangibles are good. Yes, they're on the road, but I think the Bills are a safe defense to play. They're going to be fired up because they lost this game. They lost this matchup a few weeks ago. Bills defense is going to be fired up, making plays.
And the Pats, I mean, a very good football team, but they don't really light it up on offense. Mac Jones is very efficient. They don't light it up on offense. And if we were to believe that the game plan is going to be, similar to what it was last time they saw each other, there's going to be a lot of rushing the ball. And I'd rather play a defense where the opposing offense's game plan is to rush versus pass. So, Bills D, stronger unit too, even though the Chiefs D is playing well. And yes, Dehami, we both think that you should take that risk on Gibson.
Given your other options, yeah, I think so.
And Lucius, thanks for your super.
Appreciate the super, man.
And thanks for your question. Thanks for being in here.
Hopefully we answered it.
Yep.
Damn, we're planning to get to everybody, guys. We promise. Let's see, where are we at here?
Caleb.
I lost my spot.
Caleb, I would go Allen Lazard.
Jarvis Landry or Lazard. Give me Lazard with MVS out. Yep. He's got good upside to make a play.
Yep.
Emmanuel, we got your question. Appreciate the patience.
Mr. Baker.
Sit one. Javonte, Justin Jackson, or Zeke? Oof.
Wow. Zeke.
I think I'm sitting Zeke.
Oof.
I love Javonte this week in a great matchup.
Pick one.
Sit one. I think I'm sitting Zeke. That's what I'm saying. I think I'm sitting Zeke.
Wow. Yeah.
Zeke should see most of the work.
Yes.
Zeke should see most of the work and should see goal line work. But Javonte's in a great matchup and has been a top 10 stud.
And Pollard,
Justin Jackson is in a great matchup.
Pollard was again more effective than Zeke last game with the touches that he got, and he didn't look that slowed down by his injury.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, sit Zeke.
This is where we're at.
Man.
Welcome to the fantasy playoffs. It's wild. Shane lost all the quarterbacks.
We got to keep answering these questions.
Yeah, lost the Baltimore quarterbacks. Yeah, we can't. We gotta try to zip through everybody. Start Tua, Big Ben, or Matt Ryan. Probably Big Ben has the game script in his favor. He just hasn't looked good. Matt Ryan at least is in a good matchup against the Lions.
And has all of his weapons.
Yeah, has all his. Well, Ben has Deontay and Claypool. He's got his guys and Najee, but Ryan at least, Ryan's got a better matchup against the Lions.
Ryan.
I'll play Ryan. Jason, I would not play Ian Book unless I have literally no other option.
He wasn't even good in college, bro.
Yeah.
He wasn't good at Notre Dame.
Yeah. I would not play him. Clap nuts. AJ Green, Landry, or Gallup, full PPR.
Damn,
Green,
bro.
I think. Gallup is good. The Dallas
Gallup
offense
hasn't done it the
struggling.
past 2 weeks. Gallup has not done it the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, the offense is struggling, but this should be a good game this should be a get-right game for them at home against Washington. That being said, I think Green feels a little safer.
They're all in the same exact tier for me this week, so it's kind of hard.
They're in a similar tier. Green is like an upside play. Gallup is a decent floor play. I would say Landry is third among these options.
I'd put Gallup and Landry like neck and neck, and I would say Green is just a few spots above them, but all in the same tier. I'd be going AJ Green.
Yeah.
Big BS. My RBs are Wilson, Foreman, Sony, CEH, Justin Jackson, Rojo, Madison. Is Akers worth a pickup? And what 3 would you start? I don't think Akers is worth a pickup.
Foreman already?
I don't think Akers is worth a start.
He's not worth a start. He might be worth a pickup. Did you start Wilson and Foreman? Because they both played on Sunday night or Thursday night. But if so,
CEH and Justin Jackson are great pivots.
Madison, I think, is a top 5 option with no Dalvin Cook.
Is there no Dalvin Cook?
He's on the COVID list.
Oh yeah, you put out a video about that. Sorry. Yes.
Yeah. Madison and Clyde would be my picks, I think. If you didn't start Wilson or Foreman, because they already played.
Madison, Clyde, and Sony, or Madison, Clyde, and Justin Jackson.
Yeah, some combination of that.
And you think Akers is worth the pickup for next week?
Not, I don't know.
Because, I mean, you got one more week to play him after this week. So I don't know if, unless you're in a, again, if you're in a dynasty format, he wouldn't be on the waiver. If you're in a keeper situation, I don't think he'd be on the waivers. If you're playing for this year, I don't think you need to pick up Akers. I don't think he's playing next week.
We're talking about an unprecedented situation with Cam Akers. Tough to say. But for this week, if you didn't start Wilson and Foreman, I would go Madison, Clyde, and Justin Jackson. That's what I would do. And Gage or Sanders, your opponent has Allen. Gage, he's been a safe wide receiver too the past 3 weeks.
Yeah, I wouldn't be playing that opponent has game with that.
Yeah,
I would just be going Gage because Sanders
is on the roadmap, but he has done it at a less so than Gage has this recently. Gage.
Yeah, you're hoping Sanders hits that what Gage's value is right now, based off of everybody that's injured in that offense. So yeah, and Trippy Green, Madison or Nick Chubb.
Chubb, give me Chubb with no Kareem Hunt. Richie, we got to move. Richie Sandoval, need one. Lazard, St. Brown, or Van Jefferson. Lazard. Let's play Lazard. Let's get some upside today with no MVS. Should be a starter for the Packers today.
Kylie Loco, Merry Christmas to you too.
Yes, sir. Caleb, we got your question. Go with Lazard. Lazard call didn't work last week, but he should be fine this week. Bad week last week just in general for lots of people. Shane Tuck, start OBJ over Hollywood. Yes. Given the quarterback news. Yes. Cade, Merry Christmas to you.
Yep. You too, bro.
Pick one defense: Seattle, Cleveland, Pittsburgh. Not Cleveland on the road in Green Bay. I would say Seattle. Pittsburgh's got to play the Chiefs. Seattle, they're playing the Bears at home. I would do that. And Josh Allen or Matt Ryan. You got to play Josh Allen despite the bad matchup.
Yeah.
Got to play Allen.
He can get it done with the weapons he has and against. Yeah, Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Don't need to get into it. Tanya, CEH, or Mixon?
Mixon.
Mixon doesn't carry an injury designation going into this week. I would go Mixon.
The
fact that they have Hill back and might have Kelsey makes CEH slightly. I'd go Mixon. Trent Digby.
Sanders is your play. Mike Williams is out. Emmanuel and Pukes appreciate the patience. It takes a little while sometimes to get down to everybody.
Adam
but that's the
Afifi
plan.
got a tough one. Pick 2 PPR: Swift, Javonte, DK, Jackson, Carter.
Javonte, Swift if he plays, Jackson if he doesn't.
Yeah. Yep. Agree.
Yeah.
Got to those two. Jason, Merry Christmas to you.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, Jason.
Hey, appreciate it. CXK.
Appreciate the support. Tanya, we got your question. If you're nervous about Mixon, don't be. He should be fine. No injury designation. Ravens are not that good on defense these days.
Callie Loco,
Pollard.
Devin had a good game for Devin last week, but Pollard, pretty easy. Dirtbag, hey, man. Appreciate you. Thank you.
No, absolutely. No problem, man. Happy to be here. Sorry, I'm just multitasking at the moments.
Lucas, what's going on? Start 2, Russell Gage, Jamar Chase, Amon-Ra, Pittman. Chase for sure. And then to me, it's between Pittman and Gage. Is it crazy to think Gage is a little bit safer?
I would play Chase and Pittman.
I would play Chase and Pittman, but I think Gage is a safer play than Pittman. But I'd be going for upside this week in the playoffs. You need it. Pittman, Chase, Jason B, Cordarrelle, or Renfro PPR. Cordarrelle. Andrew JF, the options are all off the waivers, so you need to drop people to pick them up. Is that what you're saying? And we advocated you pick up 2 of those guys because we were advocating swerving off of Thielen. And who else there?
I did. Sorry, I was having to make a last-second call if I wanted to keep A.J. Dillon in my lineup. I decided to leave him in over Justin Jackson. Ballsy? Maybe. Where are we at?
Andrew JF.
Sorry.
He said the options are all off waivers for that question that we answered before.
Oh.
Well, should we get to the questions? Let's get to the questions that
Pick up
have to
Lazard.
do with
Well,
today. Let's get to the questions for the
late.
rest of the chat that have to do with today. And
It might be too late, but we would have picked up Lazard.
Yeah.
Would have picked up Lazard over.
Yeah.
Or, I would drop. I don't know who to drop. Depends on who your drop options are. Sotober, Chiefs or Eagles defense? I'm going to play the Eagles against the Giants. Yeah. Andrew JF, hopefully we didn't squeeze you there with picking up Lazard.
Sorry about that, man.
I would pick up Lazard. If you were able to, I would play him over Hollywood. But
Archum, I'm a Bills fan. Nick is a Philadelphia Eagles fan.
Yep.
How about you? Let us know in the chat.
Yeah, let us know.
Thank you very much for being here. Self-7 made 7, Greg 7. Self-made Greg. Connor Hubbard, Damian Harris, Henderson, Gaskins, pick 2. Connor looks like he's playing.
Connor's going to play.
You can't sit Connor if he's playing.
I don't think you can sit him even though Edmonds is back.
And then Harris for me.
Harris, if he's in, you can pivot to Gas. I would pivot to Gaskin if Harris has to miss.
Would you go Gaskin over?
Or no,
Bolden?
crap. Gaskin's playing the Saints.
I mean,
I would pivot to Henderson. Doesn't feel great, but he feels a little bit more established.
If Harris is out, I don't know if I would pivot to Henderson based off of the workload that he got last game. I might see if the Brandon Bolden is available.
Yeah. Really quick, I'm just looking to see if I know we're 2 minutes past the start of the game. If you had some Calum, I know that there were 10 minutes left. I think we got to your question in time. We would have advocated for Lazard over Landry. Lazard over the likes of somebody like DJ Moore. Roll with Lazard. If you had Lazard, I hope you plugged him in. Sorry we weren't able to get to it in time before it became official, but like Lazard today as a decent upside play. If you weren't able to get to him, let us know who your other options are. Or if you weren't able to plug him in, let us know who your other options are. But let's wrap this up, and then we got a game to tune into. Connor, I would play Connor self 7. I would play Connor, and I would pivot to Damian Harris if he's in. If he's out, I would pivot to Henderson. That's what I would do.
And I agree with all that, except I would pivot to Brandon Bolden if you can pick him up. Chris M7, and if you can't, Henderson. Chris M7 with Mike Williams out. My options are Lazard. Okay.
Hopefully you
Reynolds,
played Lazard.
Barrios, Anderson.
If you didn't play Lazard of these options, I think I would play Barrios. I think I would play Barrios.
Barrios or Bourne.
Yeah, Bourne's got the tougher matchup. So I would play Barrios. If you didn't play Lazard, Chris, who I would have suggested, I would play Barrios.
Yep.
McLaurin or DJ Moore, Terry. DJ Moore can't be trusted. Yeah, he can't be trusted.
Half PPR, CEH, or Mixon. We got to you already, Mixon. The Doe, Madison, Montgomery, or Rojo start 2. Madison, Montgomery for me.
Yes, Madison and Montgomery.
Yep.
I would not play Ronald Jones over those two guys. Yeah, Caleb, hopefully you plugged in Lazard. Hopefully we got to you in time. Green up, Trevor Lawrence or Cam Newton. Ugh.
T-Law's not going to get sacked. Cam Newton might sit.
Cam Newton might run.
Large portions of the game.
Or he might sit. Yeah, I guess Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence, because he's the quarterback for the whole game, and we know this. Got another super. Johnny Cos, thank you so much.
Appreciate it, Johnny.
Much appreciated. Very generous. PPR pick 2, Miles Sanders, Lockett, Antonio Brown, Renfro, Javonte. And thank you.
In full PPR, I'm playing Antonio Brown. He's got wide receiver 1 upside this week. Just no Chris Godwin, no Mike Evans. He's going to be the guy that Tom Brady keys on. I think so. Miles Sanders is tough to pivot off of at this point with his recent play, but
Wasn't he not seen at practice for a few of the practices this week?
Yeah, I think that was more maintenance with the Eagles playing on a short week.
Okay.
So that also lends to Javonte's on a full week of rest. So that's an intangible that's in Javonte's favor. It's hard for me to say no to Javonte Williams, even though he's not the 1A in his backfield. He's still so good. He's so talented.
He's a top two, but he might not be the 1A in his backfield, but he's a top 2 option as far as the offensive weapons on his own team.
Yeah, and they might run the ball more with Locke in there.
Right.
I think Johnny AB for sure. He's got as good of upside as anybody on the slate as far as the wide receivers go. And Javonte, big play upside, great matchup.
Yep.
Javonte. Antonio and Javonte. Sanders would be my third option here.
But Sanders doesn't catch many passes in this offense, and since it's PPR, the edge to me goes to Javonte.
Yet this year. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
And you had Green Up, T-Law.
Nick Chubb just caught a 40-yard pass, so there you go.
What?
Nick Chubb just caught a 40-yard catch.
Levi Stevens, what's going on? Gage, Justin Jackson, Zeke, PPR flex.
Only one? Oh, my God.
Jackson?
Yes. That's wild. Matchup's phenomenal. Game script should be in his favor. He should score a touchdown. Yeah, Jackson. Holy crap. But this is where we're at. I mean, it's a smash spot. It's as good a spot as you could possibly ask for.
And Jonathan, sorry if we didn't get to that one.
Sorry if we didn't get to that
earlier. If you maybe said it earlier, I kind of forget, and I wasn't here for the majority of the stream. Lazard, I would have gone Lazard.
I think we got it. I think we did, and I did say Lazard, but hopefully we plugged in Lazard for you, Jonathan, or hopefully you plugged him in.
And Johnny Cos, thank you again. Very kind.
Too kind, man. Devontae over Lockett and yeah.
Even in PPR.
Yeah, I like Lockett, but Seattle's offense is sputtering right now. Like Lockett should come back and be fine, should be involved. He's had some wide receiver 1 weeks recently. Javonte's got RB1 upside, man. Like every week.
Yeah, if you have a choice between playing a wide receiver 1 and a running back 1 in your flex, I'd be edge to the running back one.
I want the running back 1, even in full PPR.
Yeah.
Like Lockett doesn't necessarily catch a ton of balls. Renfro does. I want the running back. I want the running back, the big play, explosive ability. He catches passes out of the backfield. Maybe I'm a little biased. Maybe I'm just like very pro Javonte, but I'm a big believer in him each week.
I think you are pro Javonte, but I think it's with reason, and I agree with the reasons. At the beginning of the season and even in the middle of the season, I wasn't quite there with you. I'm there with you now. Javonte is that dude. So yes.
So good. By the way, the Browns just took it down the field, and Nick Chubb just scored a touchdown. So 7-0 Browns early over the Packers, but plenty of game left.
So good job if you started Nick Chubb over some of the other options that we've talked about.
We said Nick Chubb. Hopefully those of you who had a question about Nick Chubb got him in there because he's already up to like 10 half PPR points. Good start.
And Jack Limbo, Russell Gage, or Amon-Ra?
Non-PPR, Gage. Yeah, been a safe wide receiver too, and with Amon-Ra not getting propped up by PPR points, Gage.
And Jason B, Najee or CEH PPR? I'd be going Najee because no Freiermuth, which means he might catch a few more dump-off passes.
I go Clyde.
Would you?
Yeah, the Pittsburgh Steelers are getting gashed by running backs these days, and if Travis Kelce has to miss, that would be, somebody's got to get some more work. I think Clyde at home, I would bench Najee for Clyde this week. Not every week I would do this. This is not in a vacuum. This week I would. At home, Pittsburgh's a run funnel these days. Like a favorable matchup for running backs for fantasy across the board. Clyde can catch passes. He doesn't always, but he can. I would, and the Chiefs' defense is playing better recently. It's a much worse matchup for Najee. I would play Clyde.
My problem is, I mean, that week 14, 15, 10 rushes or less. And
Yeah, he's not been recently.
Four
it hasn't
targets
been
or less in both of those games.
Yeah, recently it hasn't been happening, but I would. This spot feels favorable for him. Feels good. I like Clyde this week over Najee. I do, especially with their horses, with the Chiefs' main guys having been virtual all this week on the COVID list. Hill and Kelsey. I don't know. I think an extra look or two might go Clyde's way.
I'm still going Najee, so we'll see. We were split on that one. Sorry,
Jason.
Jason.
On that one, Jason. But we've given our 2 cents.
David Marmanillo, what's going on?
What's up, David? AJ Green or
Goff
Amon
out,
Ra?
AJ Green, Amon-Ra.
Green. For the very reason that to your point, with Goff out,
Yeah.
I'm downgrading Amon Ra a little bit. Maybe I'm disrespecting Amon Ra a little bit this week, but because I have been kind of off him in when he comes up and starts sit questions.
I mean, if he doesn't have his number one QB, that's so.
But he
I
doesn't
mean,
have his
anything
quarterback
he gets,
where he's been getting peppered. Yep.
And Swift might be coming back. I mean, we technically haven't. I agree
right.
with your.
Swift might be back, so I would play Green tonight.
Yeah.
At home.
Fam first, what's going on?
What's up, fam?
What's
up, fam? Start 2 flex ones, so 3 of these guys: Mixon, Madison, McLaurin, Justin Jackson, Rojo. Those first 3 running backs: Mixon, Madison, Justin Jackson.
Safest bets for
safest bets. Safest bets with plenty of upside in each one. Mixon, Madison, Jackson.
Patty was popping. Pick 2.
What's up, Patty?
Hill, Thielen, Waddle, Lockett.
Hill's got to be in.
Hill's got to be in. And then I think I would go Lockett.
Thielen if he plays, Lockett if he doesn't, because Waddle might see Marshawn Lattimore this way. As Waddle's been great prior to he went on the COVID list last week. He was great before that, but seeing Lattimore, or he could, I would be a little worried about that.
And I would just be going Hill, Lockett.
Hill, Thielen if he plays, but
okay.
if he doesn't,
yeah, I'll throw that caveat on.
Thielen if he plays, I would play Thielen if he plays, but Lockett if he doesn't. Waddle's 4th. 4 good options, but someone's got to be 4th.
And you dropped Henderson and DJ Moore.
Fine, picked up Lazard and do it.
Do what you got to do to win.
Do what you got to do. Those guys are absolute. DJ Moore is 100% droppable. So. Do what you got to do, man. It's the playoffs. It's win or go home time.
And
do what
again,
you must.
One of the weirdest weeks. You got to do crazy. You got to make crazy moves like that to win this year. It's like that. It's like that. So decent. John Edwards, Lamb or Amon Ross? Lamb.
Lamb. Yeah, play CD.
Yep. And you have a wonderful,
holidays,
blessed day too. Thank you very much.
Happy holidays.
Dirtbag, if you're still here, peace, bro.
Yeah. Thanks for coming through, Archum. Until next time.
Packers fan. All right. Good luck.
He's
Hope
going
they
to
win.
watch the game. He's got to watch the game. We're going to watch the game too. Let's round this out. To anybody who's still in here, appreciate all y'all for being a part of this today. We will be live again tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern, to continue start sit help for week 16. But Mark, Justin Jackson or Sony this week? I think Jackson. I mean, he should see most of the work. I like Sony. Let's see him do it as the 1A in Henderson's 2 weeks removed from being off the COVID list instead of 1 week. I still think Sony will be the 1A, but I want to see Henderson.
And but just Justin Jackson's getting all the work. So
it should get all the work. So in a great matchup. So Jackson.
Rock out is popping. Flex PPR Kirk on Saturday or Amon Ra St. Brown versus
Swift. I would play Kirk instead of waiting because if Swift is out, I would rather play Kirk than St. Brown. I'd rather play Swift. At the end of the day, I would want to play Swift. I would wait
for Swift and pivot to Amon Ra.
Let's wait for Swift, Rock. And honestly, maybe if you can come back tomorrow, if there's any other guys on the wire who you could pick up. I'm a little worried about Amon Ra, but I want to wait on Swift.
Yeah,
because if he plays,
I don't want to automatically play Kirk just because he's playing.
Yeah, like Kirk is fine, but I agree. I'd rather
play player of the caliber of DeAndre Swift. I don't want to just
and
write
in
him
full
off.
PPR.
Yeah,
in full PPR, I would want to play Swift. So Rock, let's wait on Swift and maybe let's come back tomorrow and see what your options are if Swift is out. I don't necessarily want to go to Amon Ra just because Swift is out. with a backup quarterback. So, Johnny, you're welcome. Appreciate the supers. Very kind of you.
Very, very kind.
Hopefully that helps. Hopefully that works. I like all your options. You got a good squad, man. But if you only can start a couple of
props
good
on
options.
holding on to AB.
Yep. Hell
Pays
yeah.
off. It's
Good
paying
job.
off.
Yep. For sure. But I would play Javonte. He's got RB1 upside. And happy to help. And and happy to see you, man. I know you're a regular in these chats. Appreciate you.
Very much so. And so is Jason. So thank you to Jason as well, and Patty, the three to finish out this stream.
Yep. Pick two:
All
Javonte,
Reggie, so
Madison, and Jackson. I'm playing your first two, Jason. I'm playing Javonte. I am to a fault. I am a Javonte truther, Javonte believer, and Madison is a proven RB1 when Dalvin Cook doesn't play.
Until Javonte proves me wrong, I'm with you.
He's in my lineup.
Yeah.
He's in my lineup.
And Madison, you can't move away from Madison getting.
Can't move. Yeah. Justin Jackson is a great option this week, but
Madison's
you've
top
got
5.
you've got two other better options.
Madison, when he's filling in for Dalvin Cook, is a top 5 running back. Sorry, not sorry.
Nothing to apologize about.
Patty.
Madison's top 5, or Madison's an RB1. Let's put it that way. He's an RB1
Okay.
when Dalvin Cook doesn't play.
Yeah.
It's been proven the past 4 or 5 occurrences. Patty, we got you with Tyreek. Thielen, if he goes, we'll lock it if Thielen doesn't go. And then as far as you got to play, I would play Madison of your other options.
Madison over Swift too.
Yup, I agree. I love Swift, but Madison again has been as safe an RB1 lock
in that
as
situation,
there is when Dalvin Cook doesn't play.
In that situation, I'm not playing around. I'm just going Madison. I'm not playing around with whether or not Swift gets activated or not, and just playing. No, Madison, RB1.
Madison.
Just put him in there.
Put him in there. Yep.
Bam.
We are at the end of this chat, though, and we got a game going on. So we are going to pivot off of that. So, Tober, Matt Ryan should be a fine, high-end. He should be a top 15 option this week. It's a great matchup. And the pressure's off the Falcons because their season is toast, so they can play loose. He should be fine. Matt Ryan should be fine. Should be a top 15 quarterback this week. Should be. But we got a game going on right now. Packers and Browns. Let's all go tune in. Merry Christmas to everybody. Thank you for
holidays.
tuning in.
Yep.
Happy holidays. However you're celebrating this day, however you're spending this day, hope it's going well. Hope it finds you well. Hope it finds you in good spirits. Enjoy the rest of the weekend, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Let's go watch some football. We will be back 10 a.m. tomorrow for more Start Sit Help.
Bro, Jason.
Appreciate that very much.
Damn, bro.
That's really very kind of you. Love having everybody in here, be a part of this. This would be nothing without all you guys. So
yeah, y'all make it special.
Very
for
kind.
Us, so yeah.
Appreciate that very much. Too kind.
Thank you, Jason.
Merry Christmas one more time,
Johnny.
everybody.
Thank you, everybody. That's up.
Yeah.
Thank you to all
Merry
the
Christmas.
supers.
Happy
Thank you to all the regular
holidays.
chats.
Yeah, appreciate everybody's patience. Everybody's patience, everybody's kind words.
Will, we're going Burrow.
Appreciate it.
We had that question earlier.
Will, we did have that question earlier. We're going Burrow. He has his weapons. Brady's down a couple guys. So play Burrow, slight edge to Burrow. But that is it. We will see y'all tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern, for any more Start Sit Help. Let's go get these playoff wins, y'all.
Peace, y'all.